What's going on? Yo, are you able to speak?
Yeah, I'm able to speak. I saw you in here by yourself. Give you some backup.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I think no one knows essentially where I'm at the moment. And I think that's what the issue is. So let me see.
The pandering and gaming topic, is that related to Neil Druckmann?
It is a little bit, like low key. But more importantly, it's not really about Neil Druckmann. It's about just in general. Like, I was looking at some Forza shit, right? And during the Forza, you can have he, him, they, them, or whatever the hell it is, right? So they had that going on. But in addition to the he, hims and shit like that, right? They also had that you can remove the legs and arms of your character. So nothing but prosthetics. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the fuck does that add to anything at all? Usually, if you have a really good character, your character should be able to stand on its own and be able to translate what they are experiencing, regardless of what they look like. And I think it's been like that in the past. I don't understand why that is necessary at all. A lot of people are upset with the fact that, you got a lot of people that gets really pissed off at, people that kind of complain about either politics being in the games or, you had this big debacle with The Last of Us Part 2, right? Yo, it was good. Thrash? What's going on, man? If you want to jump in and speak, you can jump in and speak or whatever the case is. I'm going to give you the invite, whether you want to do it or not. This is my first Spaces, so that's an interesting thing. Trying to stream this on YouTube as well as doing this on Twitter. So I'm all over the fucking place, to be honest. I'm all over the fucking place. So that's a cool thing here too. But I want to know if I'm the only one that kind of, okay, so a lot of people will take the high road and say this, and this is what I normally do with my, with any of my YouTube videos, is that I usually pick provocative topics, and my provocative topic would be, there's this inclusion. You had the Miles Morales, you know what I'm saying, as I guess people would say, a token black guy, Spanish guy, to be a main character. All right, fine. But then there's other people on the side of the fence who's like, well, why don't you just make a totally different character like Static Shock and have his own origin stories? Why does he have to take an ape off of another existing character? And there's some people that's like, well, we don't have any representation. So what's going on with that? And if everyone, this is my whole argument, if every company tries to pander to every single deficiency, handicap, physical attribute, sexuality, race, wouldn't it all become the same story at that point in time? If you have to make sure you have all of these check boxes of, I need an Asian character, I need a black character, I need a Spanish character, I need a gay character, I need a straight character, I need a transgender character, I need all of this in one game, and we're good. If you have to pick these archetypes, wouldn't that necessarily make the same type of game within a different genre, is my question. And I just feel like people don't like to touch this subject. It's a hot subject. People get pissed at this subject. And I don't think that you should get pissed. I think that as people, we should have the ability to discuss things like this. I mean, does it matter? I don't know if it matters necessarily, but it is interesting. It takes away the freedom of some other people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like having this curated type of gaming space it's not going to be good for any kind of freedom. Puka, you wanted to speak?
Yeah, man. Great subject, man. I think that you got to look at the people who make the games, right? Like, what percentage of the minority class is represented in gaming? You know what I'm saying? Because I imagine if I was making a game, the lead character, if he was a action adventure guy, he'd probably be a black guy because I'm a black guy, right?
Makes sense.
we put this onus on these whoever's making the game developers. I mean, and I assume most of them are either white or Asian or some shit like that, based on just like where the game development studios are at. Like DICE is in Sweden. I don't know if there are any black people in Sweden. I think we're like 0.03% of the population there.
Pretty much.
So I think that when you say pandering, I mean, I think pandering gives such a negative,
it's so derogatory
connotation to representation.
I don't mean it. I don't mean to make it sound derogatory. I truly don't mean it. But let's look at the definition of pandering, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it?
It's interesting that while you had this topic, I went and Googled that shit just so I can make sure I know what the fuck I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that to gratify or indulge gratify or to indulge, right? So yeah. So I guess just the term pandering is given a negative connotation, but per the definition, I mean, I guess that's what representation is. I guess that's what they're talking about. And so, I mean, on one hand, you like to see representation,
right?
But I would rather see the representation in creating like, and this is going to sound like some super woke shit, but creating like programs that create minority developers. You see what I'm saying? So that when my son or my daughter or whatchamacallit takes these STEM classes and they want to become a computer science engineer and they want to make a game, now they can make a game in their own likeness. Because right now we're asking white folks to be nice and put us in games and shit. You see what I'm saying?
And I feel like that's not the right way of doing things, because it's disingenuous, if you ask me, to ask a white person you have to put this in there, or an Asian, or whatever the case is. The problem is this, right? When you create these programs, this is the issue that I have, because it happened, I believe, in Sweden, where there were women representation in Sweden, and in general, and just different jobs. They wanted to even the playing field of having women having the same access as men when it comes to the different jobs. And what ended up happening was the opposite. The more opportunity that they gave the women, the more that they stuck with feminine type roles, call centers and things of that nature. I guess the biggest question for me would be, why aren't there any, like, do black people want to make video games? And since I'm black, I have to speak for myself, but do they really want to make video games is the question, you know?
I mean, black people were 12% of the population, right? So,
right.
Or 13% of the population.
Over
so
here, yeah.
Give us 13%, then you talk about, again, not to be on some super woke shit, but then you talk about the social injustices and shit, so that drops the numbers down considerably when you talk about how fucked up chances we get. Then you talk about like the socioeconomic things, where I don't see most kids who make video games coming from poor white or black neighborhoods, right? Typically, and I think most people on Twitter are pretty fucking educated, man.
I don't know about that. I see some pretty outrageous shit. I don't know.
It's a lot of smart
right there, buddy.
It's a lot of smart motherfuckers on Twitter, right? Just listening to you people talk, I would imagine that you guys have decent jobs, right? Because gaming is an expensive hobby too, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're going to send your kids to good schools and shit like that. You're going to send your kids to colleges, and so I'm sure black people want to make games, but there's just going to be more white men doing it because they're the majority of the population any goddamn way. So
right, and it's kind of difficult to assess the issue. You know what I'm saying? If you have an overwhelming amount of one type of person, and then you have the extreme minority trying to get in, even if they let all of them in, it won't even balance the scales. You know what I mean? So you're absolutely right in saying that it wouldn't even balance the scales. And the other thing too, like I said, I mentioned this before, I touched on this about it being kind of disingenuous, and then you hitting all the check boxes and shit like that, just to kind of, I don't know if they're getting a tax break by hitting all these, these check boxes or whatever the hell they're doing. I don't know whether, they say that you have to represent these people and you get this or whatever the case is. But then I'm looking at the situation, and for instance, Days Gone, where the state that it was made in, right? The population is overwhelmingly white. And these white people don't, I mean, it's not that many black people in there. So they can't really representate black people or any other really race because they don't even know how it works. You know what I mean? Yeah, they work for a company at Sony, but they still live there. So, and then you have creative freedom as well. If you look at Jay-Z, for instance, right? Or Biggie Smalls, right? They didn't know any better. They had their street life. So they rapped about it. You know what I mean? Is this not the same type of situation where if someone's making a video game, they're only going to like express what they experienced, you know?
Yeah, but then when you open it up, then you open yourself up to like people who push back on. I mean, the easy solution would be to create a character, right? Create a character. You could be whoever the fuck you want to be.
Demon Souls, Blackstone,
soft representation, right?
Right.
But then you have pushback on that because people think you're trying to push an agenda with like the pronouns and the gay or community and shit like that, man. So it's a whole fucked up situation, man.
Pablo, what's going on?
Well, actually, I want to ask both of y'all, since both of you guys are African American or black or whatever you want to call yourself. Like, do you
just call me black?
Do you guys care about being represented in video games? Like, is this something that matters to you, or is it one of those cases where you just want a good story to be told with like a good, cast of characters in the game?
I mean, for me as a black man, I want to be able to drive and not get shot, right? That's what I want. I mean, I'm more concerned about that shit than the fucking video game. But when I do see a black person in a video game, I think the little shorty from Forspoken is black, right? Am I right about that?
She's probably mulatto.
She's like mixed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm digging it, right? So when I
see
it,
she's different looking. She's different looking, yeah.
Yeah, when I see it, it's dope. But am I not going to? Damn, that's a good question, right? Because if Returnal's main character was a black woman, would I have purchased the game already? Because I haven't bought it yet. I've been waiting. Like, I want to play it, but not enough to actually pay for it.
Why is that?
Full price, or even
kind of curious.
$40, and so I'm waiting on it to be sale. Okay. Now, if it was a sister on the front, I probably would have bought the shit already.
Really?
I'm just keeping it a buck with you.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
dear.
Side note, I went to a HBCU though, man, and I got like all this black love in me and shit. So, I love sisters with a passion, man. So, like I got a baby, man, and I buy the loves with the black people in the box and shit, man. So,
they got you. Matrix has you, man. Oh no.
Yeah, I spent $3 extra on that box of Pampers just because they got black people in front though. But I don't care.
See, let me just stop you there. See, that type of shit, I don't need to have, like, for Pampers, I don't need to have a specific child on a box. You know what I'm saying? So when you deliberately go out your way and put a white child, curly blonde hair with blue eyes, yeah, that's going to make me feel a certain way because it was already unnecessary as it is. This little kid don't have no side story on back of the damn diaper bag. You know what I'm saying? Why you gotta put that one on there? So to me, and then you gotta look at it too. A lot of this is business related. So they're like, I kind of want my product to be purchased by the majority. Like if I put a little black kid on here, these white racist motherfuckers may not buy my shit. So it's like an endless Ouroboros in this particular case. So just take the motherfuckers off the damn box and just put a price on that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, it's like a loss. You never can please everybody. And this has always been tried and true throughout history. You never can please everybody. Because on one side of the fence, you said that you would purchase Returnal. You know what I'm saying? If it was a black lady. For me personally, I never cared about the characters. Most of the games that I played had women leads on there, and I can't relate to a woman in that particular case. You know what I'm saying? I never really cared about it. You know, I never really cared about it. A lot of people that watch Japan animation don't, you know, and if they have a game that is Japanese based, they make their own character anyway, and they usually pick female characters. Or if there's a creative character, it's usually feminine or a female. It's a really it's a difficult topic to kind of. I've thought about this over the course, and it really boiled down to Forza. Actually, this is what made me think about this topic because I was looking at one of my boys play Forza, and he he removed the arms and legs of the main character and had nothing but prosthetics, right? And then he called them he, him, or something like that, and everything is just so like I don't want to make a character that shows a female, you know what I'm saying, attributes. So I want to make some flat-chested, ambiguous, androgynous character where I'm not quite sure what it is, so I won't offend these people. That's what makes me upset about it. Because you can't have a game where it's an actual woman character. Women have titties, breasts. That's what they have. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and some people are big chested. Why erase that? You know, for what reason? Oh, Pablo, go on. My bad. And I see you, Central. I apologize. Is he still in there? I'm not even catching that shit. And Surge. Let me jump in. Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, man, like, I don't, so to answer Pablo's question, since he's not talking anymore, man, like, I don't care, but it would be cool. You know, does that make sense? Like, I don't care that much, but it'd be cool. And it would make me buy shit because, I'm like pro-black like a motherfucker, so it would make me buy it. But I don't care enough. But I'm like support black businesses, but I'm still gonna eat at motherfucking Karen's ice cream shop. I ain't gonna not support white businesses, but if I have to, you know what I'm saying. And so if I see the reason why I haven't bought Returnal yet, just because I don't really want to play the game that much. But man, it keeps getting so many good reviews, so I eventually want to play the shit. You see what I'm saying?
You pick up Returnal, my dude.
What's the system on the Returnal? We're bought it by now.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Returnal, that's some shit, man. Returnal, that's a good game. Oh, Central, go on. You can just hop in and speak right now. There's not that many people.
Yeah, I was just say, I know. I'm white as they come. I'm from Australia. My father was born in Tasmania, and back in the day, they drove all the. They call them Aboriginals. We got Aboriginals here in Australia, and my father didn't see an Aboriginal until he came to Australia because he was born in Tasmania. But I've got 4 kids, and 2 girls, 2 boys, and with my little girls, I brought them little black dolls. You know what I mean? Just I don't know. It's just seeing something we should do. You know, the way the world is. You know, I always tell my kids never be prejudiced. You know, never. You know, if you hear racism, just stand up and don't take that shit and stuff like that.
Did you do that out of some sort of guilt, or you just want your children to have like a real representation of the world, like what the world actually is?
Oh, no guilt whatsoever. Well, I've got nothing to be guilty about. Whatever happened back in the day has got nothing to do with me, you know. It's just about, yeah.
I really appreciate that.
I 100% support that move. I also buy black baby dolls. Of course. Of course I'm gonna buy some black baby dolls. So.
There's a lot of shit, layers upon layers. I didn't want to make it like a race thing necessarily. Because really what I want to do is like when they made Static Shock back in like, what was it, the late 90s? He had his own origin story and all sorts of shit that, you know, he stood on his own legs and was able to, you know, he was able to do his thing. And you didn't need to like, you know, piggyback off of an existing character that was white. It was somebody else.
Let me ask you a quick question, man. What do you think before I say this, man, I'm like, I support gays 100%, man. Marry who the fuck you want, be who the fuck you want. I'll call you what the fuck you want. So I'm 100% for you. But what do you think that the feedback would be or the response would be if like the protagonist for like Starfield was like a transgender woman or something, you know, representation? Do how do you think that the gaming community would respond to that shit?
So I'm sorry, somebody messaged me. You said about Star. What was her name again?
Yeah, my shit's breaking up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear. He said something about being Star Wars, the main character being
no,
being
Starfield. What do you think the gaming community's response would be if the protagonist was a transgender, whatever, man, woman, blah blah blah, on some representation shit?
There's two ways that I can go about this, right? There's two ways. The first way, and I don't want to make this complicated, but it is what it is. So way one is, what the fuck is it? Is the person that made Starfield, the person who thought of Starfield and had the overall plan, right? Is that person trans? If that's a yes, I don't have a problem with it. And I don't think a lot of people would either. If that is a no, then it would appear to be pandering. And pandering, to me, there's a slippery slope when it comes to pandering. You know what I mean? The slippery slope of the pandering to me boils down to, do you even, are you doing this for clout? Or are you doing this because you feel like they're like, my homie here, let me just take a look here and see, and I'm my bad here. I'm like, somebody's supposed to join in there and they only use Twitter. So Centerlink. So Centerlink mentioned this as well. He goes on and he says he buys, black dolls for his daughters. And he just did that out of his resolve. He did it on his own. You know what I mean? So if it's in that vein, I don't think there's a problem, period. But if you're just doing it just to say, I put this person on there, I have a problem with that mentality because it's not genuine.
Yeah, I did it as well. I did because I just don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I just don't care what people think. I've even had people ask me, some close friends who I don't really see them as close friends anymore. They've asked me shit like, if your kids turned out gay, or especially my little boys, if they turned out gay, how would you be? I was like, fucking, I don't give a fuck. I just don't give a flying fuck. You know what I mean? If they're gay, straight, home, I just don't care. I'd support them 100%. I just don't know what's wrong with this world. People are so concerned about other people and what they're doing. But as for if they put like a main character into a game, I'd like to know the reason why behind it. Because you shouldn't force that you shouldn't force that shit on people as well, you know what I mean? There has to be a good reason behind it. If they're just doing it to force it on people, well, yeah, that's not right. But yeah, like you said, if the developer, if he was transgender, he decided to put something in there, yeah, that's fine. But if there's, you got to find out the reason behind it.
And I'll say this as well. For the record, I don't want a white person trying to represent me in games. Unless you lived in my neighborhood and shit like that, and you just feel like that's a part of the story. Or I'll say this: if that white person just likes the culture, or he was or it's a part of the storyline. You know what I'm saying? Like if he wanted to talk about something that's poverty stricken or whatever the case is, and he needed to have it all cohesively line up, then fine. If you're making a transgender, like if it has nothing to do with the story, other than the fact that it exists, to me, that's pandering. But if your story encompasses, if it's a transgender, it's a space story from what I could gather, you know what I mean? And that is an integral part of the storyline as to why the person is trans or how that happened. And if it has some ties to it or whatever the case is, then by all means, even if it's black, if the character is black, if you want to make that story because it ties to the story and you did your research, by all means, I have no fucking problem with it. But if you just say I have a black main character and that's where you stop, or I have a transgender main character and that's where it ends, that's bullshit. That's bullshit to me. You're pandering in a negative sense. That's how I feel.
Man, I ain't gonna hold you, man. Like my man said, I have sons and daughters. My son turned out to be gay. I would care. I wouldn't like shun him or tell him I wouldn't be happy about it because I don't know. But I love him all the same. Blah 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 blah. But I don't think I would give a fuck about. Personally, I wouldn't give a fuck if he was a trans character. But I think the gaming community, man, is as open and inclusive as we say we are. I don't know, man. There's a whole bunch of hate on this. There's a whole bunch of hate floating around this
More
shit.
more so than any kind of entertainment group. We are more open than any of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
We really don't. We really are about it. We really don't give a fuck. Like if I had a son, though, just to answer your question and put things into perspective, would I love my son unconditionally if he became gay? Absolutely. Is there a problem if he is gay? To me, it will be a problem based off of I want grandkids, like biological, passing on my genes, grandkids, no adoption. That will be my only big problem. I really don't give a fuck what people do, honestly. But that's how it would impact me because of the whole passing on your lineage. You can just jump in, Centerlink.
Yeah, as I say, Picker, what you just said, it sort of would bother you. Can you elaborate and like explain what, in which way? But the only one saying that, yeah, it would. If my son was gay, I've got two sons anyway. I don't care if both were gay or one were gay. But the only thing that would bother me is the backlash they would get. That would worry me, you know. And knowing what the gay community is about, and you know, when they're young, they're only young now anyway, but if they did turn out to be gay, I'd be just worried about if they got with an older bloke and yada, yada, yada. You know, it's just a different territory, that's for sure. Especially being a male and thinking about if I was gay myself, how predatory I would be, you know what I mean? Because it's a totally different world. So, yeah, I'd just be worried about that aspect of it, just the way they'd get treated, the gay hate crimes and yada, yada, yada.
I don't think that it's a big issue at the moment. If somebody wants to be like, I really don't like the stuff that you see in terms of, and this is what I'm seeing and what the news is kind of like putting out there. So the stuff that you see as gay is sometimes, or most of the time, is transgender, right? But the transgender is not telling the other party that they are trans. That, you know, and it's lying. I'm not condoning any kind of violence, but that's why it's happening. It's not like someone's going and seeking them when they're just walking across the street. You know what I'm saying? They're engaging in them physically. Now, for me, you wanted me to elaborate. I don't like, for me, I would like to see my genes be passed on regularly, no adoption. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the only problem, when I say a problem, I don't mean a problem in the sense that I'll be upset with him and be, you know, and just have a problem with him. It will be one of those things where I wish I could have some grandkids in this particular case, but whatever. Que sera, sera, you know what I'm saying? The same thing could happen if he was sterile or my daughter, she couldn't have any kids. What can you do? It's a passing by situation, you know, but to be totally honest, I feel like more people need to be honest about shit like this in general. Not that it's anyone's business, but like, let's be real here. Not everybody is okay with everything in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. It's the human condition. It is what it is. And I'm being honest about it. And I would have a small issue with that. Just be doing to, you know, based off the fact that I would say that there needs to be two dynamics in the home, whether it's, you know, it's feminine and masculine energy together. You need to have those two dynamics, you know, so that's how I look at it. But other than that, the world isn't kind anyway, and it was not fair. I didn't have my father around at all, or mother, so it was just the grandmother. I would like to have both, but you couldn't. All right, in my case, you couldn't. But since we are here, don't forget to follow this Twitter channel. I'm going to do this every Saturday at 7:00, just to let you guys know, just as a side note. This is also being streamed on YouTube at the moment, so it'll be archived. So if you want to go back, there's that. I want to move on to the next topic since you guys are here and since we are all gamers. And I know you probably seen the PC versus consoles, right? This isn't about who's better. This is the mindset of each demographic. Now, I was supposed to get somebody in here that had a PS4 and he jumped ship and bought an expensive PC. And I was thinking to myself, well, let me just take a look at him. Okay. Let me know. And I asked him, I said, why did you, what was your reasoning for going on PC? And he told me he wanted to have a more powerful PC. I mean, a powerful platform. He spent like $2,000 on it. And I was a little bit shocked because I knew this dude, this motherfucker was on the PS4 and stuff like that. And I guess he evolved to wanting something more powerful. And just kind of having the ability to kind of manipulate the settings and stuff like that, which Magnificent, he knows exactly what it is. In terms of he has a PC. Shout out to Magnificent, it was good. He has a PC, and he was saying to me that when he tries to do the configurations, that was like a game in itself, which was pretty cool that he said that. I thought it was pretty awesome. So console players, on the flip side, I don't think they want any of that damn smoke. Like me personally, I have a really good paying job. I bought a $1,000 laptop because I wanted to do the stuff I'm doing now with the podcast. So I was just like, well, fuck it. I need to have a powerful PC. I do beats and stuff like that. So I need something to kind of make it work. That was my only particular problem or issue with that one. So that's why I had a PC. But in terms of gaming, when I took my old PC to Tampa, Florida, and was making beats and uploaded it and it caught a virus, oh no, I was like, nah, you fucking up my gaming. So that's why I couldn't really get downs with it. But I asked you guys, I'm going to start off with Puka. Do you have a PC?
No, I don't have a PC, no.
Would you have any issues of having a PC?
I thought about building one. I just hadn't got around to it.
True. Okay. What about you, Centerlink?
Yeah, look, I used to PC game years ago. It's not all cracked up to what it is, you know what I mean? There's a lot of effort that has to go in. People think PC gaming, it's simple. It's not. There's a lot of things that come with it. Like you said, for example, viruses, websites, what's some dodgy websites out there. What PC gaming's not that good. Yeah, you can have the best of the best, but yeah, that's not what it's all about anyway.
I mean, like I said, I had a PC before. Listen, because there's going to be some motherfuckers that's going to say, well, you shouldn't have been on that Pornhub. First of all, that's the phone. That's the phone's purpose. That number one. Number two, has nothing to do with my fucking PC. I know better because I'm 37 years old. I know exactly not to do that with my PC. I just turned the bitch on and it got fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And it was so ridiculous that whatever it did, it corrupted the BIOS of the computer.
Yep.
Like it ravaged my computer to its core that I had to just get another one. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even fuck around. I don't fuck around with the PC deliberately because of the nonsense. It's nice to have your extra frames, but listen, I've been gaming in the early 90s. A lot of those games were like fucking 10 frames a second, and I was still rocking that bitch and didn't care. It's like the more we get into just in life, you know what I'm saying? In life, that's the problem. People are so entitled and just want everything to be so perfect. Not to say that it shouldn't be. You should definitely try your hardest for sure. But on the flip side, like I mean, come on, man. Like this elitist type of attitude. Like, I got 3 more frames than you. Like, I look at the Digital Foundry videos and they're like, oh, look at me. Look, we won the platform. I have 1 extra frame on average of like 10 minutes. 1 frame was more. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
How about you do that? How about you do that? Like, I'm a PlayStation fan, but not a PlayStation fanboy. There is a total difference. If Sony does something, I will call them the fuck out. I did not like The Last of Us, just to let you know. Everybody dick rolled that game. I couldn't stand it. I didn't really like Uncharted either. And I didn't like them closing down the fucking the Japan studios either. I was furious. And Evolution Studios. Furious. I'm pissed. Absolutely not.
Yeah, dude, look, I started, like, I'm 38 now. I started on, when I was a kid, my parents brought me, I know I had like an Atari 2600, and then I had a PlayStation 2, and then I had the Sega Saturn. That in Australia, that was $1,000. And a couple of years ago, I was going through a drawer and found my dad's old payslip around that era, and he was only getting like $200 a week, And when that console came out, that was like $1,000 console in Australia, and the games were like $150. So we weren't rich. No way we were rich, man. We lived in house commission housing. You know what I mean? But and then I got a PC as a kid as well, a shit one. And then left home.
I did. That was my first PC. It was real shit. By the way, Dante, you can unmute your mic and jump in whenever you have an opportunity. Go on, please, Center.
Yeah, and I got into like PCs around about Counter-Strike 1.3, 1.4. So whatever year that was, I don't know. I can go and look it up. You know what I mean? And got right into PCs, and it just died. You know what I mean? Got a missus, had kids, and that's when I started getting the consoles. PlayStation 3, 2, 4. I don't know. Yeah, I've had them all anyway. So I've been gaming.
And I don't mind it. Like I said before, I just because I'm gonna get into the whole exclusive talk. I know that's been talked about again. What's going on, Fado? I know this has been talked about today.
How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Dante, you want to say anything?
I mean, I don't own the PC personally. I would, but I know that people will say, "Oh, well, buying parts is cheap." What do you mean? And it's like, yeah, but not really. Like when you got responsibilities and kids and shit, like it kind of, you know what I mean? That kind of get in the way. Like I'd rather just have shit that's it's there. It does what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? I started out with the Sega Dreamcast, and that was my first game system I've ever had. I got it from my sister's foster parent, and I had Sonic Adventures and Rainbow Six. And that shit, I played that shit for hours. And then when I had my own, I could afford my own, I had the Nintendo GameCube, or was everybody likes to call it the purple purse.
Yeah. No, back in my day. By the way, Taryn, you can unmute your mic and
just the purple lunchbox, bro.
Yes, lunchbox. Taryn, you can just unmute your mic and jump in when you can. But go on, Dante.
The purple
I
lunchbox.
do that. I mute my mute. What the fuck? I mute my mic.
That is so. How could you? That's discriminatory. I have a mute friend. How dare you?
I mute my mic so there's no echo or no shit like that. No, but from there, I went to the PlayStation 2. And fuck with that, and I loved the games on there, but my hands were just too fucking big for the controllers, and it always annoyed me. And then when I got to the Xbox, the OG Xbox, I was like, yeah, like this feels right, that it feels good in my hand, and just kind of went on from there.
So you're a new boy. You're a little
sexy. Relax, dude. Relax.
Oh yeah,
had that big ass lump of plastic in my hand. It felt great.
The Bro Club, yo, with the OG Xbox out here being part of that Duke Boy Club.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, my grandma. I don't know if you're in a black community, you have some. You have a black mom, man. You didn't want an Xbox in your house. Let's put it that way, because you say some sly shit. and she was near that Xbox, you've been homicide. That's what it would be.
Well, you getting that shit that you're gonna have half her brain missing.
She took that old ass controller. That shit was like a VCR. She swung that shit around like David and Goliath. Bust me in my fucking mouth, man. What you say? I told you to wash them dishes back. I was like, oh shit. So it was like, you didn't want to do that. See, in my house, I had a tiny little PlayStation controller and shit like that. You know what I mean? Just in case.
Fuck that. You didn't want your dad getting a hold of the fucking the Xbox itself, motherfucker. That shit was a goddamn weight.
No. That Xbox was too.
Your parents got a hold of that shit, man. They're doing some.
The Xbox was too large. That was a big ass. He was going to fuck his own back up lifting that bitch. I remember,
bro. You can take the original Duke, Josh, man. You could literally use that and swing that bitch around and knock some bitches out.
No,
bro.
for real,
like, legit.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and I remember when they first released the PS2, and I was like, "That's a big ass console, man, and ugly." You know, I was like, "That shit ugly." Then I saw the Xbox. If you guys recall at E3, the Xbox was actually shaped like a aluminum X.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That was the original. I kind of low key. I was a hater. I was kind of low key. I was like, that's kind of a hot ass design. I ain't gonna lie to you. Then I was like, what is that? Sterling silver? The fuck? The fuck is this?
Can you still get that, or was that just a prototype? By the way,
that was a prototype just to show people that they want to make a big splash. It was never going to be like in circulation and stuff like that.
But ain't it crazy though? Like when the OG Xbox dropped, Josh, man, like how like a lot of the PlayStation fans and shit that I knew would sit there and just glock at it, make fun of it. Who wants a Microsoft console? Like,
no, I still say that to this day.
Well, of course you fucking motherfuckers still do this.
Who does? No, I'm playing. Taryn, if you want to jump in there, you can jump in.
To be fair, there's not many. I'm starting to lose count.
Muted.
I'm starting to lose count, Josh.
Playing Final Fantasy, but yo, brothers, man, I love my PlayStation. Xbox, you know what I'm saying? I dabbled in it a little bit during the 360, and I played the OG Xbox, which was like I don't know what you call that thing. It was a brick. It was heavy as fuck. That Duke controller, I couldn't play with that shit. Shit was too hard on my hands. But over the years, I can give Microsoft credit. They came into the game industry. They stayed in because they had the money for it. But most of their games, that shit don't hold me like that. I kind of hope Starfield can do it for me because Gears, Forza, Halo can't. You know what I'm saying?
See, Taryn, you missed the whole conversation earlier. It got pretty surreal. It got pretty fucking serious. Shit was maybe you'll like it if it was the main character is transgender. I don't know. Now I'm just playing. That's
Lord,
who gives a shit if the goddamn main character is a fucking transgender?
Some people. Let me say this.
Why is that an issue?
Fatal. I'm telling you, it matters to certain people. If a character is gay, transgender, black, white, whatever, it matters to people. It does.
Okay, well,
it never mattered before years ago, so that don't even make sense.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. But
okay, I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example, right? A game could come up, right? The main character is black or Latino. I see the brother named the Quarter and goes all over YouTube and Twitter, which he has millions of followers. They're pandering to minorities. But I never said anything because for a majority of my life, most characters were white, and none of us cared, right? Now, when characters
well, but you're also talking about social media.
That's what I'm talking
social
about.
Media is a very dangerous place.
Well, did you not play like fucking Tekken and fucking DOA and fucking all that shit?
We're talking about like main story.
All those games had diverse characters in it.
I agree with you.
Yeah, but you gotta remember though too, like a lot of games that had main protagonists and shit like that too as well. You couldn't even tell what skin color they were to begin with.
Well, back in the Blocky days,
the way graphics were so primitive.
You ever played Narc?
You know what I mean?
25 to Life.
I played
Narc. 25 to Life.
I remember 25.
Yeah, like you just gotta find them. Like that's the thing about like gaming back then, dude, man. Like if you didn't follow a bunch of shit, you ain't get to see shit, bro.
Shit, I'll take it. Hold on, I'll take it way back.
Why do you?
I'll take it way back. Shadow Man.
You know what? Shadow Man was black. I forgot Shadow Man was black.
That nigga was light skin. He was a light skin.
But again,
no.
the reason why I bring up what I'm saying, though, is like if you weren't paying attention to the gaming scene growing up throughout the years and shit like that back in the 90s and whatever you want to call it, you didn't really know about 90% of the games that dropped on fucking those consoles. Period.
Well, I did. Well,
unless you went to your GameStop stores or some secondhand store and actually looked. But you'll be surprised, man, on how many games there were that had diversity and a lot of shit that nobody fucking saw. Half the shit.
That's what makes it shitty. Now, before we go on, because we still are on the topic.
How does that make it shitty?
Fatal, relax. let me go through this.
My brother Fatal is very passionate. He's very passionate.
Let me go through the messages on YouTube. Right? There's some people want to talk about the.
All right, go ahead, man. My bad.
So I have Quanvo. He ended up saying this. He says all these PC gamers don't have a 3090, but it's too easy to just say that you got one these days. And 60 frames per second is pretty normal on a console. There's no need for a PC at all. So then you got Toby. He says it's not just about the frames though, bitch. It's about the online, the cheaper games, the mods, etc. And the games are way more on PC. Then Quanvo says, what about the amazing AAA games, though? I mean, if you love shooters on PCs, definitely for you. And then you have Toby was like, you mean the AAA games that are already going to PC? Ooh, ouch, burn, bitch. Damn. You got to take it there. Why? Like, Toby going for the jugular, man. Relax, dude.
Yeah, AAA games that from PC going to consoles, but yet the console gamers ain't fucking with that shit. So that point's fucking irrelevant.
Omar says, you mean the AAA games built from the ground up for the PC, pushes high-end PC to their limits. So that's what he's saying, that the AAA games that's supposed to be on the PC. So Quanvo says life is too short to wait a whole year or two just to play a game, but that's the PC gamer way of life. So it is what it is, right? Well, those PlayStation games are built on a PC, but yeah, there's nothing really that comes to mind. I don't own a PC to play exclusive games on exclusive PC games. So with that being said, all of those points are really, 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 they're valid though. They're legit valid. There is diminishing returns that I can speak to the most hardcore PlayStation or PC people that will say that, no, there's so much you could get out of the graphics, but there's limitations on fabricating the microchips, right? So you got that shit going on. A. B, how much of a difference on the PC you're getting from the consoles other than frame rate or textures? So that's an interesting thing as well.
Unless you mod it, then if you mod it, then you're doing things better than the console can do.
Well, yeah, but
from everything, from performance to even graphical fidelity.
So I'm going to ask Taryn. Taryn, what do you think about all those statements?
It's a lot of just talk, brother. Really, that's all it is. If PC was so grand as we all, like they say it is, the PC Master Race thing, right? My question always pops back to them, why do you want to play exclusives from Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo? They always talk about hardware, but they never talk about the software from the PC eras. You know what I'm saying? And I know this. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Taryn, are they really asking or wanting to play it? Like, is there any kind of proof?
No.
No, they really want to play it.
No, they want it on there so they can test, benchmark their shit, and maybe try a couple mods. Couple mods. You know what I'm saying?
Give you an example, right? Now, Hard 8 is a PC gamer, and I love listening to Hard 8 podcast, right? He showed that how many of those guys completed Horizon Zero Dawn. 1.11%. That means nobody. And then most of the games they put on PC, they benchmarked and turned that shit right back off, like Fatal just said. So,
yeah, like Crisis, old school Crisis, man. That was a benchmark cookie for a while.
See, what it is they want to say, well, we got your games over here on PC and we play them better. But they're not playing that game. So are you really playing it better? You're just boasting that you can play a game that's on the console. And that I don't understand.
I'm noticing too, before I'm gonna let Dante have a crack at this question too. So I noticed this shit too, which is funny, right? More and more people are playing the fucking game of the year, game of the generation for last generation, and they're going to do a game of the generation this year because it's just so good. They have logged in more hours in this application than any other application. And of course, that's Twitter. No one's playing any games. They're mostly on Twitter than anything, to be honest. So as much as you see the Xbox people talking about, look at Forza, yo, so much graphics. You see them rocks? You see that grass? It looks crazy. They haven't beaten the game or nowhere close to it. They were talking about the, what's that airplane game again? What the fuck was that again?
Flight Simulator.
They've been talking about that shit. I want to know that.
Yeah, but how does one beat Forza Horizon, though? Or how does one beat fucking a simulator, my guy?
Forza Horizon has a completion. So at the very minimum, the achievements would dictate
if you finish all... Yeah, no, if you finish all of the actual fucking Forza like main events for each section on the map, once you complete that, and then once you're in the Hall of Fame, right? Because that's the very last thing that fucking game will do for you when you go through all the main events, right? Not the side shit, but the main events. You get deducted to the Hall of Fame, and that's it. You're done. Then you have to go and complete the rest of the map if you so choose to.
Okay, can I say something out of the ordinary, right? But you have to admit this, right? To anybody looking at this as a casual observer, the media has been bigging up Xbox in a way that I do not understand. It is shameful.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a complete
hold on, Fado. I want to hear this shit. Fado, Taryn, could you elaborate?
Okay, so
I want to make sure I got it accurate.
Okay, so what they're doing is, right, I see media personalities. I'm not talking about influencers. I'm talking about people like IGN, GameSpot, all these people, right? They will go out of their way to tell you how great the Xbox is. And then when you ask them, so tell me what's so great about the Xbox? Muted. Nothing. No response, right?
Game Pass.
Well, no, that's not. That is not a reason to buy a console. You know what I'm saying?
Giggle.
Facts, motherfucker.
Yeah, and then the other thing I've noticed, right? Like Halo got a 10 or a 9 out of 9 with the release of the multiplayer, right? Which is interesting.
What's going on, Lincoln? I see you there.
9 out of 10 or 9 out of whatever high scores.
There you go.
Right? But check it out though. I'm sitting here waiting to myself, like, okay, I'm looking at now. I haven't played it myself. Just looking at the videos, looking at it, looks like every other Halo I've ever played, multiplayer wise. So if this Halo is so impressive, right? Then why ain't nobody playing it now? I'm looking at the streams.
Wait, hold on. You know how?
Okay,
sorry, no. I'm not disagreeing with you. Actually, in fact, I'm actually somewhat agreeing. But I do find I will say this. Look, this cracks me up. I always hear people tell me that fucking, I've seen the way Infinite looks, and it looks like fucking like every other Halo game, right? Like what you just said. But I've also heard people say that, it doesn't play anywhere remotely as good as 3 and shit, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Didn't you say earlier on a space or a podcast that it just looks exactly like Halo and it plays like Halo? And then you say now that it doesn't, that it doesn't play like Halo 3? Like, what the fuck? Man.
And the media is pulling really hard. Now, I'm going to put this out here, right? Next year is very close to us, right? We got Elden Ring. I think that game is going to score amazingly, right? I'm going to tell you right now, I will be shocked if Horizon Forbidden West gets a 9 from anyone. Because the game is going to sell. We know this already because every Sony fan with a heart on wants to play as Halo again. But on the flip side, the media is going to down that game. I can tell you the score now. It would be between a 5.3 to a 5.8. It ain't even going to get an 8.8 this time around because the media is pushing really hard for Microsoft, right? Today, Microsoft had the most consoles sold on Black Friday in America, right? But they won't tell you which console was selling. That was the S, which is cool. It's great. It's an Xbox console. But this whole year, why haven't you been bigging up Nintendo and Sony, who've been winning consistently all these months leading into it?
Because it's not their year. Because it's not their generation to go. Like, you got to remember, dude, go back in the 360 era, dude. Man, fucking Sony was getting thrashed left and right by journalists. And Xbox was getting the same treatment as what they're getting now. But look at the PS4. If you look at the PS4 generation with the Xbox One, Xbox has always had shit fucking media up their
But-
ass since the launch of
But
that
here's the thing,
motherfucker,
though.
dude.
You're giving people good media who ain't doing shit. There's nothing. Listen, I'm be honest.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like these, like my main point is what I'm trying to get at is these journalists are going to pick and choose who they want to fucking represent for that
And that's
generation.
why-
We all agree, but that's the problem. Hold, give me 1 second, because there's other people that want. Dante, I want to ask you, what did you think about all the other shit that I was mentioning before?
I done forgot that everybody's talking about Halo and
And
shit.
then I'm gonna go to center. So basically, the message was that there's no one has a 3090 really, or very little people have a 3090, right? So there's a lot of PC gamers master race talking about a 3090 when they really don't have it. But really, on the all in all, it's almost normal to have like 60 frames per second when it comes to the console games. So is there a use for the PC in that regard is the question.
No,
Oh.
not at all. Like I'm being honest. Like what? Why? Well, I mean, the only difference is you can exchange parts, right? And put better parts in it, and then crank the fucking settings to nay fucking high and burn those out and put new parts in it. Like what's the point? I mean, I get like why people do it, right? It's like a knickknack to them. It's like a little thing they like to do, but it's like what the fuck? If I'm gonna get right, if I go and right now I'm sitting on a 4K a fucking Samsung TV, right? And I got right now I'm on the X, which is before the Series X. But even like majority of games that I have, like the Far Cry 6 and Resident Evil Village and all that shit looks amazing, bro. Just on the shit I have. Like, why would I don't get it. I don't get it. You could say you have more games on there, but there's not a lot of good games. Like, I've had Steam and shit before. Like, what y'all got like games that are from like fucking several years ago. Like,
several? You mean like they're like some of them are decades, and they've been.
I don't get what's so great
but
about
they're also classics as well.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying like
there's classics on the fucking Xbox. What the fuck?
There's
no, but I'm talking about like classics before Xbox ever existed.
I'm not even talking about Xbox in general. So the thing is, you talking about 3080, right?
Immolations.
You talking about all these graphics and shit like that, right? But you're still playing a fucking 20-year-old game and shit, or 15-year-old game. You know what I mean?
Goddamn right.
Centerlink, what you got to say? My bad. They got hot and heavy.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say, Taran was going about IGN and GameStop. Oh yeah, that's just crazy. They've been carrying on about Xbox so bad. But one thing I've noticed, anyone who's seen that guy, Steve, the blind man Steve, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He started getting some recognition, or people started noticing when he was talking about The Last of Us Part 2, because I believe Naughty Dog got him in and got all this accessibility, all that kind of stuff, which is brilliant. But have you noticed how Microsoft has grabbed onto him now? Has anyone noticed that or not? Or was it just me?
I didn't notice. I didn't even know about the debacle.
Oh, I'm just saying, yeah, it's just Microsoft. They've just been going about all this accessibility now since. But Sony started doing.
You're right, because that was that situation with Forza, where you could remove all the hands, arms, and legs from your character. So,
yeah, exactly.
You're right.
And it's just the media attention Xbox has got over that. It's just crazy. But Sony was the first one to do it in The Last of Us Part 2. It's just, I just blown away. And I'm all for that Steve, the blind gamer. He's a brilliant guy, man, and good on him. He's making a lot of money now. And go back 6 months ago, he lost his job or whatever. Go and check out his page. But, yeah, Microsoft has just grabbed onto him so quick. And it just seems like, they're just going to use and abuse. Microsoft will use and abuse anyone, just for a bit of publicity, and it's just sad. It is really sad. And I've seen another clip where they had a child in a wheelchair. I don't know. He's all messed up. I feel sorry for him. And they had him there playing Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, that's good, but that's like publicity for the system, sell more units, and I just don't think that's the right way to go about it. You know what I mean?
it goes back to what we were talking about before about the pandering. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's your heart at when you claim that you're doing all these good shits? You know,
exactly.
And that was my problem. I don't mind if it's all a part of the plan of the game. Fine. I'm going to circle back to that, Taryn, because there's something that I wanted to say about that as well. But it looks like in a general consensus of things, right, that where we're at with PC now, you can have all the ray tracing and everything that you want. Is it going to make an impactful difference? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you got 120 frames a second. I mean, these consoles are they're not nowhere near as capable of that, but they're capable enough. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's the thing that I wanted to speak on. It's capable enough. So, and on top of it, you can't find any graphics cards, but you can find a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series easier than a graphics card at this point. And you don't got to put up with the bullshit. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have a PC. I'm saying that the demographics for the PC players are completely different. They're not the same people, you know? And I feel like they can coexist. See, Sony want to make that bag. The reason why they're releasing games on a PC as it stands, because guess what? Why the fuck not? Horizon Zero Dawn made us 10 million and we're just sitting there. You ain't going to get another million out of that bitch. Is it going to be day and date? Probably not. 6 months. Probably got a 6 months exclusivity, right? But even if no one's playing the PlayStation exclusives on the PC like that anyway, they're going to still play their Dota. They're going to still play their Counter-Strikes. And then everything else. And then the early access games. And then that's pretty much a wrap. Sony sees that there's potential for people to actually jump on there, but there always will be a space for console players. Because I will never get a fucking PC for gaming. Not seriously. I'm sorry, I can't do it. There's so much convenience. If I wanted to stream on YouTube, guess what the fuck I can do? Hit the fucking share button and broadcast the bitch. I don't got to move a screen here, there, everywhere, whatever the case is. It's control compromised a little. But I can still do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? I just turn it on. If I want to watch Netflix, I turn it on and open the app. Or you could do the same thing there. You got to move your mic. Yeah, I got to move my mic, enlarge the screen, shoot it over to the TV screen if it's near there. I don't got time for all that shit. Just turn it on, make it the fuck work. That's my problem. And I
sound like a lazy bitch.
How much do you weigh?
Hey! I'm not gonna put. What are we talking about?
How much you weigh?
Oh shit! It got personal real quick.
I don't know. I would say the size of an elephant.
Me and Fade will go at it. Don't even trip. We be acting stupid as shit, yo.
Honestly, I don't know, dude. I haven't weighed myself in years, bro. Like,
you can't call me lazy with a 6% body fat. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Hey, listen, man. I walk every day, bro. I walk every day, and no, not from here to my fridge. That's I do that on the regular, but no, I'm talking about an actual legit walk.
Yeah, you gotta lift that snicker arm. You know what I mean? or Fatal, in your case, snigger arm.
Wow. Listen, man, I can't. Every fucking show.
I gotta find a way to.
Always trying to paint.
I gotta wiggle that in.
Always trying to paint a poor white boy who's Canadian into a fucking racist. Like, disrespect.
Well, you're Irish, so you're really close to being black anyway. Who said that?
You know what, brother? Being honest with you, if you pay attention to the last 10 to 15 years, console gaming has more of an impact on PC than the other way around.
It is.
Because if you pay attention, I don't think, now I'm being honest, just my personal preference, and I listen to a lot of people, I don't hear too many console guys asking for anything from the PC. Those guys,
shit.
Now I hear those. Now I know you didn't like The Last of Us Part 2, but I'm telling you, when The Last of Us Part 2 came out, they would say, just imagine what that would look like on a 2080 Ti. That's what they were saying. Just imagine.
Still wouldn't look that much better.
But you know the funny thing? It's weird to me. Sony games look so good. Some of the PC games they talk about don't look as good as some of the Sony games in their own console. So I think that's the issue. That I think the butthurt part for the PC gamers is that they have spent a ton of money and they're not getting that much more of a performance. To be honest with you, not marginally.
Now, The Last of Us Part 2 does come to PC.
Which, it will.
I mean, whatever.
It will.
I mean, if it does, cool. If it does, man, just wait till you fucking the mods for that game is
Brother,
gonna be fucking insane,
90%
I have
bro.
a question to ask, though.
Insane.
90% of it will be those that buy there. They will be benchmarking and turn it the fuck off. 10% will be some freaks and make.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, actually, no. To be fair, a lot of the mods are going to be.
Of course, Ellie's going to be naked.
They've already doing that now.
Yo, they're going to have Ellie busting it wide open with her middle finger cut off.
Yeah,
dude, they already got the one for Aloy already.
Going to be busting it open real talk.
I'm gonna.
But PC modders, man, like they'll find some ways to like tweak the fuck out of that fucking graphics engine.
I can tell you one thing.
Wait, Dante.
Beyond
Dante,
real.
you were going to say something? You had a question?
Why? I'm confused. Why the fuck does it take so long for games to go to PC? I'm really confused about that.
What do you mean?
Like, why did they take so long to go to PC? Like, what's the holdup?
The PlayStation exclusives?
PlayStation, well, y'all don't have to worry about that because you got Game Pass right on PC. But why?
I feel like it's motive. I feel like it's
because they don't make their sales.
They don't make it right. I feel like it's motivation. It's motivation. It really boils down. I see you, Umar, sitting there shitting on PC gamers. Leave them alone. But no, it's because it's not. There's no motivation like that.
That's a genuine question. I'm not like saying that to hate or nothing.
But it's real though. It's real. No one's really. I mean, they're gonna the PC. The real about a PC gamers, they are actually in their own fucking bubble. But the funny thing is, it's the console gaming that rules the gaming space on Twitter. Like Sony was do something and it will bring fucking Twitter to his knees and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? If Nintendo said today we're going to release stuff on the PlayStation, the whole Twitter will be fucked up. No one cares about, they're in their own world. It's potent, but they're in their own world. And I get it. I totally understand it. And I'm not mad at them. But I was going to say, so Taryn, you mentioned this, right? What they're doing with the media. When the PlayStation 3 came out and the 360 already was out that year prior, people had a bone to pick with Sony because they were releasing a $600 console with Blu-ray in a fucking recession. And then they thought that Sony was just going to be they were like, the nerve of these motherfuckers releasing this console. I'm fucking poor and shit. You want to release this expensive ass console? I don't know damn Blu-ray.
$599 US.
That's what ended up happening. So when Sony got the flack back then, it was kind of justified because it was insulting. Fast forward to today, people are giving W's to Microsoft for no apparent reason. Game Pass to this day didn't really show the full potential of day and date. If you came out with Game Pass and Star Citizen,
because it hasn't hit that potential yet. It hasn't hit that potential.
I'm saying if they came out with that potential, right, with Star Citizen and the Elder Scrolls and everything else, the Halo and the Gears of War, they came out the gate, then you can pop your shit. Huh?
This motherfucker just said Star Citizen.
Whatever the fuck it is. What is it?
Starfield, bro.
That's how much I don't give a fuck about it. I wipe my ass with Starfields.
Clearly.
So no, but but what's anything? They can release something mediocre as fuck, and they be like, you know what? Microsoft is turning around. Sony gotta do better.
No, I've been watching Game Pass for the last I don't know how long since they've been releasing games, and I've got to say half the fucking games they're putting on this shit are shit.
Dude, it's been out for 5 years, man, and they still haven't shown the full potential of that service, man.
Not yet, no.
I mean, I don't think anybody
they haven't got their first party shit going in motion. I don't think people.
But that's not an excuse, Fatal, and you already know it.
I don't think people.
No, I know it's not an excuse, but it's a proper legit.
No, we're not. No. There is no. You shouldn't have released the fucking service without its fucking games. I don't open up a fucking supermarket.
But they are getting games.
I don't open up a fucking grocery store without fucking groceries. I promise you. In 4 years from now, we gonna have them damn grapes and bell peppers. That's not how we do things.
On fucking deck.
You don't open shit up. I'll have it to you in 3 years from now. Just wait for it.
Listen, every time when I hear people tell me that fucking that the vast majority of games that are going onto the service are fucking shit. They don't even know what games are even going on.
Well, you know, we are not.
Well, yeah, because I have to pay attention
wait.
to that
You know,
shit,
for
sadly.
us, Fatal, we ain't the average fucking gamer.
No,
everybody in this fucking panel ain't the average gamer. So we are all about that smoke.
Hold on. I'm about that smoke because I'll go on Game Pass right now. So you some shitty ass shit they putting on this shit right now. What the fuck?
but Fatal likes that. Fatal likes that stuff though, man.
Yo,
you're talking.
Yeah, dude. Like I legit play almost like 90% of the games that are out there.
Fatal would see if you put Fatal in a room and have a bomb ass Megan Fox looking bitch and Oprah Winfrey, that nigga would pick Oprah Winfrey all day, yo.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, because I want to share my story.
You be like, y'all don't see the potential in that. Y'all don't see the potential in them black nipples. This dude would say that shit. I already know it.
Listen, man. At least Oprah will get my legacy.
You're right, though. You're right, though. You absolutely right.
Megan Fox ain't gonna do that shit. That bitch is a transformer. Fuck out of here.
You know what, man? I think Oprah Winfrey might be a good pick because she's much richer than Megan Fox. So,
this is very true, yo. This is very true. But you're right. You're right. I smash.
Hey, but you know what? Hey,
compliment. Thank you,
but
Josh.
let me say this though, because Microsoft has more money than Sony, but
where? Hold on a minute. Where the hell are you coming from, man? You coming out from like what? From work or some shit?
You
just stop at a fast food restaurant
to keep my mic. I got a lot of background noise.
Okay.
No. Okay.
So right now, as we speak, we have Deer, like literally 3-4 hours in it. Deer Simulator. Right? And what the fuck, right? You have Mortal.
That game is fun as fuck.
Mortal Shell, which okay, I'll give them that. Right. Before we leave, what the fuck? Whatever the fuck.
That's a strategy game, like Civilization in a way.
X1
Dungeon is a goddamn good indie fucking design game.
Hold on, my friend Pedro. I almost said pedo. What the fuck?
Yo, have you not played? My friend Pedro is
No. Hold on, I'm giving that one credit. I actually like that one. All right, it's pretty fun. All right. It's pretty fun. All right. You have T Tactics, whatever the fuck. What the fuck? All right. Next Space Rebels. What the fuck? You have Halo Infinite, right? That's all right. Right. You have San Andreas.
That next space Rebels game is interesting, man, because like you literally fucking are a rocket creator.
Originally, we were supposed to have
with like real motion videos. And
originally, we were supposed to have the full trilogy on the Game Pass, but we only got one, and that's San Andreas Definitive Edition.
Who the fuck wants the goddamn fucking trilogy anyway?
I did.
I wanted it.
I know Josh bought it. I know he's defending it. Cool. That's awesome. Good for you, man.
I bought it for sheer nostalgia. I just beat GTA 3 yesterday. I bought it. I couldn't believe it.
Props.
Well, hey, props, Josh. Props for playing the shittiest version.
It is not the shittiest version. It runs better and it looks better. Most of the time.
Moving on.
Most of the time.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm like,
you just had to add that one in.
No, because San Andreas was the one that needs milk, man. That shit. Look, but I did go back and I played San Andreas on the PS2. Fuck, that game is ugly. It was ugly then. It looked like an open world PS1 game.
And can we be honest here? Resident Evil Village, I got that shit the other day for sale. Bro, what the fuck? There's more puzzles than fucking enemies. What's going on?
You hit.
What the fuck, bro?
You hit a nerve, and I know Ken going swan dodge in this bitch.
I want all the smoke on Resident Evil Village right now. How about we talk? I'm at the end of the fucking game.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it because somebody in here.
So you didn't play the originals, I take it then, right? Because those games were chock full of puzzles in a lot of areas.
Are you talking about Resident Evil 7? Yes, sir, I did. Like what the fuck?
No. I'm talking about Resident Evil Remake, not about the original classic PS1. Yes.
I couldn't fuck with that.
So, yeah, but that was one of the things that was actually a downfall to the 7th game because there was very little of that. So they added more to that.
Fatal, you're buying now. You're buying. You must. Someone said something Sony.
Shut the fuck
Somebody
up,
said
Josh.
something Sony. He started to buy it out.
Nobody said anything about Sony. Why would I say anything about Sony when the game's multi-platform?
Last of Us. Oh, okay.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, if you're referencing Adam Sessler's, like the way I talk from things, I think.
Oh yeah. Wait, no, you do sound like Adam Sessler. No, fuck that dude. What?
Dude, I grew up on. The only trusted motherfucker you need to fucking pay attention.
Hold on, wait. Before we go on, right? Because we're gonna hit the last topic. I know a lot of people are probably gonna leave, but this is the off topic, and it's gonna be good. But I'm gonna finish off this PC versus consoles, and I'm gonna talk about Adam Sessler and this bitch ass. He was one of the. He was one of the.
Bro?
I'm gonna explain it. He was one of those precursors of the fucking Concern crew. He did a review. He did two things that pissed me off. He was on the bandwagon of PlayStation 3's downfall. So you know what he orchestrated with that Morgan Webb, right? He said that we were going to crash PlayStation Home for reasons.
That was my baby back in the day. Don't hate.
Wait, who? Morgan Webb?
Yep. I grew up on G4, bro. What the fuck?
You know she's transgender, right?
Oh, shit. Is that for real or is that fake?
No, that's real. You see our jawline, right?
Yo, no.
Can I touch on the PC there?
Dante, all them fab sessions, all them fab sessions, yo.
You're talking about Morgan Webb, right? You're talking about dude, I never found her fucking attractive at all.
Wait a minute. Morgan Webb is transgender. Jesus Christ.
I'll play it. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, bro, I know damn fucking well.
I'll play it. Don't kill me. Don't kill me, Morgan. I'm sorry. Your jawline is strong, though. It's real strong. It was questionable for years.
Yeah, no. A lot of people thought her fucking attractive.
It wouldn't surprise me though if like she did that just to fit with the trend.
No, but they wanted to crash PlayStation Home. That pissed me off because PlayStation Home was my baby. And then on top of it, Adam Sessler reviewed God of War Ascension. And then he went on to this tirade of, it's some frat boy game. It was just so misogynistic. I give it a 2 out of 5. I was like, oh shit, the fuck? Why? He was going in on some fucking social justice warrior shit. And I can't fuck with him like that. Now he's a little better. I do believe in change. So I don't know yet. I don't know. He said some pretty truthful shit recently. So I got to give him credit on that. In terms of Resident Evil, Capcom be fucking up on some of the games that they be doing. I don't like they have like
Resident Evil 2 remake, boring as fuck, easy as fuck. Buy the fucking infinite ammo. If they wanted to make it more suspense, bro, they should have not made fucking infinite ammo as buyable. Who the fuck does that?
Resident Evil did it back in the 90s.
Yeah, but like,
used to beat that.
To get it.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but you do the same thing. You do the same thing now, though. I didn't buy that shit from the start because they wouldn't allow you to buy it from the start.
I know.
You had to beat the game at least once to get the points in order to unlock that bitch.
Yeah, like Resident Evil 4, I ran around with like a tuxedo, an unlimited Tommy gun, and an unlimited rocket launcher because I beat the game like 700 times.
Right.
To me,
yeah, and I did that shit in 3-2 as well after you beat it.
I get what they,
like 5
times.
You
get your platinum.
Now I get what they were doing.
That's how you get
now
your
I get what they were doing. I get it because they're trying to capture the old Resident Evil and put it into the new Resident Evil. But the second that you allowed your main character to aim at specific body parts, and then try to say that I can put 12 bullets in a fucking zombie's head and this bitch still gets the fuck up, I have a problem with that.
Exactly.
I agree.
Resident Evil 4 was meant for allowing me to bust a melon, yo. That shit was meant. And even if I did shoot him in the head, they did it in such a way that the head would come off.
Kneecap.
Right. The head would come off, right? And that would be cool, but also that plague would come out of his fucking head and at least add extra, extra dynamic to it. But the same thing.
Sometimes they'll dodge. They'll sit there and bob and weave and shit. Like you're trying to shoot him in the head.
Yeah, that shit was annoying.
Now, I do agree with you 100%, but wouldn't that make the game like incredibly fucking retardedly easy? Like if it only took one shot to the head for a zombie, right? Like think about how
I didn't say one
difficulty.
shot, A, and B.
Hey, can I say?
Oh, come on, but in real life, it all it takes is one shot to the head for a zombie.
Hold on, wait, Centerlink, go on.
In the movie world, quote unquote.
I was gonna say something.
I was just gonna say, you know something I don't.
Oh yeah, someone mentioned what's that? Aloy porn? No,
Aloy. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, they play. I did see it.
Josh has already got that shit unlocked.
I did see it, yo. Right.
No. Someone just mentioned it before, and I just never seen it before. So that's why I left the space and went and had a look.
Oh no!
Wait, you actually left the space to go look at Aloy porn?
He didn't know better. They played that same. They played that same theme. Wait,
yo, that's amazing.
They played that thing. They played that theme from Zero Dawn, right?
Shit, maybe I do want a PC.
She was like,
I want you to notice me.
That was my game, yo. I ain't gonna lie. I have some embarrassing time for that game, like 2,000 hours, just because I just like running around shooting the fucking the dinosaurs and shit. It's embarrassing. I know.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Hey, Lord, that first Horizon when it first came out, when you first saw it on your TV, if you had an HDR TV like I did, the way that shit popped, it was amazing, brother.
Yeah.
Taryn, I was insulted. I was insulted by the way that fucking game looked. I popped that shit in, and I was like, why the fuck does...
Insulted.
I was like, how dare you look like this? Why the fuck? Why? When I was playing, I just kept asking why. Why did you go ham like that?
And the way it looked, when it first came out, right? I remember people all over YouTube and on Twitter constantly walking around at the nighttime with the moonlight passing through the trees. These fuck nigga PC guys was super duper salty.
Salty.
Yo, you see that shit when you zoomed in on the tree? You can see the ants go out of the tree.
Digital Foundry had a fucking aneurysm. I mean, it's not that good. Look at it. The anisotropic filtering in the background. Yeah. It becomes a super mess 3 kilometers away. Fuck them PlayStation bitches. I'm like, bro, relax, Alex. Calm down. Did y'all notice? I'm gonna say this in every space that I do. Did y'all notice, right? That every time when they do like a comparison between the two Xbox and PlayStation, if it's negative, poor news, here comes Alex slide his ass in.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, this is Alex Battalion. I just wanted to do a comparison. And if you notice, it's a shame that the PlayStation 5 just look like more sound effects coming out when it renders this grass. I'm like, look at this.
I'm like, look at
yo, it's not like, yo, Josh. It's not like what it was back in the PS3 era. Do you remember when Mafia 2 came out and the PS3 version was known for having no grass?
I remember that.
They were so upset. They was, bro, every time, they were so pressed, yo. I mean, it's for, like, they were sucking the dick of Microsoft. You remember that video they made was called The Price of 60 Frames Per Second? And they talking about Halo. Oh, it has to be this way. I was like, bitch, there's some games on PS4 that runs perfectly fucking fine. And that 1080p.
Call of Duty, for example. Yeah, Call of Duty was always 60 when that shit came.
They were like, the animations, they're reduced in frame rate. It's 2 frames a second when you go to this. But that's okay, though, because that's I'm like, yo, you giving these W's to this Microsoft, for nothing.
Bruh.
Yeah, and another game on the Xbox will be like, oh, it dropped 40 frames. Oh, that must be a bug.
Yeah. Let me tell you. Or they will say, we're still waiting on the 2. We're waiting on the 2.
Yeah. They're like, that bitch just went from 120 to 70.
Okay. I'm generally curious, man. Where the fuck did that tool shit even start, bro? Like, I'm still trying to figure that shit out, man.
I will tell you where it comes from, brother. So what happened was...
Please do, sir. Please do.
Was that those first comparisons came out. Remember the whole
they were like,
summer... a whole summer of last year, It's 12 teraflops. It's 13 teraflops. It's 14 teraflops. They said it's going to be in between.
Okay, I
it's
I
going
thought
to
it
be
was
a
25. They
20.
said
I remember
25.
that.
Yeah, that's with ray tracing. Remember, it's with the ray
Oh,
tracing
yeah.
at 25 teraflops, right? It's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be between a
That's
30 to 45% delta. They said this shit every day for months on end, right? And that
Right.
first game they did was
Valhalla.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah, they
Yeah,
did Assassin's
it got
Creed.
ripped in
Those
every
people
way.
were like, and the next day, I'll say who it was. It was Dylan's Gamers podcast. He was the first person to say it was the tools, and ever since then, it's been the tools.
Yo, they were scratching.
Okay. So
Yo,
that was the context that I was missing then, because I know about the fucking people with the comparisons for Valhalla and shit. I saw that all over my feed when that shit launched.
You know what I said? I was like,
but I was just wasn't sure where that originally, where that whole entire concept originated from. Now that you told me, now I understand. Now.
I said,
I think,
and I'm not surprised by that either. I'm not surprised by that.
I think RDX were the ones who kind of like pioneered that whole tooling thing, man. Because they like once the comparison.
Yeah.
well, they were saying no,
seriously,
and the word came out too.
Yeah.
The word came out too, right? Where they were like, "Here's the situation." Like, Sony beat them to the punch when it came to the dev kits because they were using. So it was easier to move from PS4 to PS5, where Microsoft redid everything. And now you just have to wait for the tools. But then every game that came out, or more games that came out, they noticed that it was Devil May Cry too. They were like, it's punching above his weight. Something's going on. I'm not sure what it is. It could be a bug. And they never like went back to try to like test it out and shit like that. It was,
dude. The worst of all, the worst one to this day that fucking digital fucking faggotry actually fucking did, excuse my language, but fuck them, was Control. Remember they used fucking
oh yeah, you know why?
That was Alex Battaglia.
It downshifts.
Bro,
the PS5 uses smart shift to downshift.
Bro, I'm sorry, dude. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that shit. Because, like, look at fucking Forza Horizon 5. The only way you can have ray tracing if you're on next gen is if you're in fucking Forza Vista mode, not photo mode. Oh, no. No, that's not ray tracing in photo mode. You have to be in Forza Vista mode.
Say it with this. And the thing is, the engine has to be pushed for it to actually do, like, you know what I mean? For it to do
to run 100%. It
weight.
downshifts. It downshiftts.
The thing is, when they put it in photo mode,
it slows it down.
Hold on, wait. The game and the logic, it's logic. It wasn't running game logic. It was just running the fucking textures and the polygons. So it didn't need to do anything crazy. And this was beyond them. And I'm like, you're supposed to be Digital Foundry. Y'all don't fucking know that. Like, Mark Cerny said that shit.
Okay.
He said that shit.
Now, however, I will say this for the record, though, when it comes to like the other first-party games so far that have been upgraded to a next-gen Series X kind of fucking configuration, whatever you want to call it, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, and fucking a few. Hold on, I know you're laughing. I know you're laughing. Just bear with me for a second, though. I want to make this quick because I don't want to fucking. So yeah, those two games. The Ascent is another prime example that was fucking humiliation for me on last gen console because the multiplayer was virtually unplayable for me. So I had to go and fucking boot up the xCloud version just to play with Sick Humor online in order to have a decent experience.
I want
it was fucking crazy,
right?
bro.
Check this out. Here's another thing that you have to pay attention to, right? So two games that came out that were superior on the PlayStation 5, right? One was Dirt 5. The other was Assassin's Creed.
It's a bug. It's a bug.
No. That's not what happened.
No, it's
the developers went back.
Let him talk.
The developers went back and downgraded the PlayStation versions of those games. They downgraded. When they went back and retested that game, my member Digital Foundry retested those games. Now they're the same. Yeah, they don't downgrade the shit. That's why I'm being honest. I really hope that Sony lets Ghost of Tsushima franchise becomes their version of Assassin's Creed. I will never buy another one.
I'm never buying another one anyway.
That right there really made me upset because you downgrading the game because it looks better than the other game. And I never heard of Rockstar going back downgrading Red Dead Redemption 2 to make it the same between the Xbox and PlayStation. Have you heard that?
You want to know something too about Red Dead 2? They
But-
never fixed this shit either. They never fixed it.
No, they never.
The checkerboard rendering was fucked up, and he never went back to fix it. Notice how it uses the same aspects or the same resolution as Horizon, which had checkerboard rendering, right?
Exactly.
But notice how Horizon don't look like that.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying But then Rockstar never went back and changed their game. But,
Well, they don't give a fuck.
Rockstar is lazy as fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
But you're right.
It's shit gonna cost extra.
They went out.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me because why would you go back and change a game? If a game plays better on one system versus another, it still ain't gonna make nobody buy more copies on the Xbox. That's another thing I don't get. Right?
They hope though. They hope it does. They're like, well, and they because they don't know yet.
Game Pass deal. They had the Game Pass deal for dirt.
They're like in the event. They're like in the event that
we're gonna bring up Game Pass, man. Leave Game Pass alone.
They're like in the event.
I was just saying they had a deal with them. I'm just making light of it.
They were like in the event.
Throw that shit.
They were like in the event that these motherfucking fanboys are looking at Digital Foundry and they may not buy games. Let's go back.
Yeah.
And let's just even the playing field because again, the PS5 is better at rendering polygons.
PS5 is just a faster console.
It's a faster,
and it has,
and it's a better.
Yeah, the UI
it's a better.
No, it's a better built console
it's
than
balanced.
the Xbox console.
It's not just that. Here's another thing.
It's very well designed. It's very well designed.
And here's another great thing about the PlayStation over the Xbox is nobody ever talks about it. The Xbox theoretically has more memory, but their memory is split.
Mm-hmm.
The PlayStation
has less going to
memory,
the CPU though.
Exactly, is unified. You know, I didn't know this, but people say this. Most of that, like I think that slower RAM that operates inside the Xbox, that's for its internal memory. That 10 gigabytes of all that bandwidth RAM goes for their games. So I'm like, wait a minute. So why would you split the memory like that instead of going to cloud? Yeah, but they use the unify. Now I'm telling you, brothers, everybody here, they will have a mid-gen refresh, right? They will do this because everybody slowly but surely, even though my dumbass just bought a television over the last couple of days ago, 8K TVs are going to be more predominant by 2024, 2025. So they're going to have a mid-gen refresh for both of these consoles. Right?
Fuck, now we're talking about 8K now?
I'm being honest because now.
No, I know you're right, but it's like, goddamn, that was fucking quick, yo. That was fast.
Yeah, a developer guy who was a guy who works for Ubisoft said maybe they just put a dedicated ray tracing chip and something dedicated for VR inside those boxes. But my suspect is they're going to dedicate.
That makes sense.
They're going to do something dedicated to the display panel. So why I say that is, remember when PlayStation 4 came out, you didn't need a 4K TV or a 1080p TV. You could have a 720p TV, plasma, whatever. It was just as good. Then all of a sudden you had HDR. So everybody had to switch to HDR. Now they're talking 120 hertz. Everybody's switching to 120 hertz. What's next? 8K. Because they have to have something to hook. Because Sony has their own televisions to sell, and Samsung has to sell televisions because they're connected to Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? So 8K TVs, the next step of I say not this fall or next fall or fall after that, but by 2024, you're gonna start hearing about it. In 2025, it'll be out in the open for everybody to see.
No, Centerlink, go on. This dude is so polite. Yo, that Australia guy, you polite as shit. He's like, oh, excuse me. My hand is raised. Hello?
Yo, why do you sound like Michael Jackson?
Said
bro?
my hand is raised. He's stupid as fuck.
No, I'm playing with you. Yeah, you just jump in. Polite as motherfucker. These Americans is dirty. All right, go on, Centerlink.
That nigga. What's up, yo?
What's going on?
Yeah, well, I was saying, everyone's like nitpicking at the moment. There's no truly true next gen game out yet. I can't wait till like 2020, at the end of 2023, maybe. Yeah, man, like, wait till Sony does a truly next gen game like The Last of Us Part 2, which was just, imagine that on the brand new PS5, just purposely built for the PS5. Some game like that, man, it's just gonna be fucking amazing. And everyone knows there's no way.
I would say Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, we're Spider-Man.
I was gonna say that'll be the first one. That'll probably be
like fall.
fall 2023 or spring.
You know, I know this game is going to be on PC as well, but why ain't nobody giving Forspoken the love of the next gen
That shit
game?
I
look
don't
crazy.
know.
Yeah, you know what it is, yo. You know what it is, Taryn. I'm gonna say why I didn't, and then I want to move on to the last topic, which isn't going to be long. I was going to throw something out at you guys. Shut up. I haven't seen enough of the game. That's all.
That's true. I've honestly said that too. I want to see a little more.
Like, I'm not saying that it's going to be bad. I just don't know enough about it. You know what I mean? The same thing happened with Returnal. I was looking at that shit and I was like,
I can understand that.
And then I saw it and I was like,
I want to
okay.
see more of the combat system. That's all I really
So, like, exactly. So, wait, when they show Forbidden West and they show them fucking velociraptors and shit, and they gave you like 18 minutes of that shit.
Yeah.
That shit. So, speaking of Horizon, I wanted to say this. This is the off topic, and I just wanted to throw something at you. I always do the off topic shit just in case, just to see where your mind is at, right? This is going to be our tinfoil hat moment.
Government ass nigga.
No, not that deep. Notice how in the off topic it says lost civilizations, right? In the vein of Horizon storyline. Then you guys played Horizon, right?
But of course, the love of my life.
Okay. So you remember how they said that like the people that the people inhabited the earth, they didn't even know what those machines were or whatever the case is. They had no idea what it was. None.
Yeah.
Right? Because they just didn't know. The knowledge was gone to them. I was just thinking this. I was hoping my friend was in there, but he's being a little lazy bitch and didn't want to go on Twitter. But that's okay though. What if we had the same situation? I was looking at this show, right? And there were some people that were excavating this area. And as they were digging, there were different layers of soil. And the layers of soil had like pottery of that time frame. All right, so far so good. They kept digging and they found another type of soil, like another layer. And it was a different type of cultured pottery. And they kept digging this shit. And it was like 4 times, like 4 different layers with 4 different civilizations in their pottery and whatever they made. What if we were dealing with the same thing where we had like a crazy ass catastrophe and wiped everything out and then we build it back up again and we're on another verge of this shit?
But brother, let me say this to you, right? And I'm not going to throw your thing off, but check this out. There are cities right now sitting at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Africa. There are cities off the coast of North America by Florida right now, sunken hundreds of thousands of years old. They found a power plant in the middle of Africa, more than 1 billion years old. A power plant. You have to realize, though we think that we are the only intelligent civilization that has ever existed here, civilization has been born and been destroyed many times over. We were up here laughing at the movie Mad Max and all those futuristic flicks we used to watch as kids. That shit don't happen before. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it for a second that give you an example, right? They'll go to places in Africa or Latin America, or even some places in Europe, they'll find shit that just don't fit. So how did this get here? Well, who built this? Well, how did this happen? This is the thing that we don't understand, right? I'll give you another example. Go deeper, right? There were stories during the great Roman wars of them fighting giants. People with one eyes in the middle of their head, right? Just because we don't see that shit. Yeah, just because we don't see it. I know. But just because we don't see that stuff today don't mean it does not exist. And the thing about ancient civilizations and coming into our time, we've heard about Atlantis, right? But have you ever heard of Terra? The name I got on my thing, there was an empire that's called the Terran Empire that existed in the past. They also
so I picked the right one.
Yeah,
I picked the right one today.
Yeah, and not just that, there was Gondrania. There's even cartoons like there was a cartoon called Spartacus, The Cities Underneath the Sea, talking about how the worlds were destroyed from cataclysms, which we call apocalypse now. And then the ancestors from Egypt always said the world has been destroyed and remade many times. Like they say, people
are the true Israelites.
Well, that's one ideal of it, but you got to think about it for a second. The world goes back farther than the Israelites. It goes back further than anything we can imagine. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that you have to realize. So civilization will be born and destroyed over and over again. You know what
It's
I'm
funny you
saying?
say that. You know, like the Egyptian battery. You know, they talk about. The Egyptian battery. It's nothing special, yeah, Egyptian battery. But like you were saying, yeah, there's been so many civilizations before us, and you know what? They could have been more advanced than us. We think we're advanced, but you know, you get like inscriptions on flying, whatever. You know,
Flying cars and stuff.
cars. Like, who knows, man? We have lost so much technology over the years. It is not funny. You know what I mean? Like, I reckon we can't go back to the moon because they lost some fucking, you know, all the semantics and all the paperwork. Like, what kind of shit's that? Obviously, we could, but I'm just saying for an example, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so we've lost so much technology over the years, man, just because, yeah, like, I don't know, meteorites hitting there.
I'll give you another one. I'll give you another one, brother, that nobody ever likes to talk about, right? Have you ever paid attention how Star Wars always says they're from a galaxy far away and a long time ago? That came from tribesmen from around the world telling stories that humankind came from other worlds. Like people say humankind started on planet X or planet Ball or all kinds of other stories. Now, here's the thing. There's always a bit of truth to what stories that are told. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So you got to realize sometimes that when you hear a story, don't always take it as, oh, these are just some ancient idiots looking at the sky, don't know what they're talking about. It always has an arrow of truth. Atlantis actually existed. It existed. I'm gonna tell you where it was at, right? To this day, they tried to put it in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. They tried to put it in China. Atlantis existed in North Africa where the desert sits at, right? The city is still sitting there. It's just buried in the sand. Still sitting there to this day. They can't excavate it all because they wonder why there's a city that they call it the Eye of Africa, the Eye of the Sahara, rather, right? And you will see that. Then there was another scientist that was digging in the ground and found the whole subterranean city. I think it was out in South America or a central part of Africa. And then they found another one in Asia. So civilization has been born and reborn over and over again. You hear these names of these ancient places that's existed. Like, I'll give you a great one. One last one, right? You know how we love watching the story about Moana from the cartoon? If you ever listen to the story of the people from Easter Island, they lived through a cataclysm. They tell when the world flooded and how they had great cities and all of this. And the only thing that survived was the Moab heads. And they still don't know how those people made those stone statues. That's why when I tell people all the time, when they say, well, the Arabs from the Middle East built ancient Egypt, no, they did not. Because they still can't build ancient Egypt to this day. If there
No,
was a
they can't.
continuous civilization from what the Arabs lived in Egypt today to when black people lived there, they still be able to build it. It's just not in their. It's not how they culture constructs things. It's like when I see things in Europe, I know Europeans built this. When I look at things in Asia, I know Asian people built this. Right? When you look at certain things in the Middle East, you see how Arab people build things. And it's weird when people try to assign things to certain groups that is wrong and it's dumb. Like this is the last one I said. Then I'm gonna shut up because this is one of my 10-4 hat things. I did not know that the original name of Europe was is Albion. I just think that shit was something from the books. I'm like, then what did the word Europe even come from? You know what I'm saying?
It was
Because
your rope. Let me stop. I'm playing. I'm sorry.
no, seriously,
Yo,
it was called
you know,
Albion.
you know what's interesting about ancient Egypt, man? A lot
Man,
of people
bro.
believe that the pyramids were built by was it the Egyptians?
Yeah, the
That's what they.
Egyptians, but they were Kemenites at that time. They
But
call them Egyptians now. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people believe that the pyramids were actually built as tombs, but uh,
Uh-huh.
they've done a lot of excavating and researching the tombs, and there's so many different components in the pyramids that just lends credence to the fact that we don't really know what they were built for, but they definitely weren't
Exactly.
built for tombs. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know how they did it. To this day,
Exactly.
nobody knows how they were able to build it. You know, another interesting thing too
Go ahead,
is
brother.
the Sphinx, right? The Great Sphinx in Egypt.
Yeah.
That so they actually found that towards the base of the Sphinx, there was actually water erosion.
Yeah.
So,
There used to be a
uh,
forest there. It used to be a forest. The Sphinx.
well,
Go,
there used to be a large body of water in that area,
yeah.
and the only time that there would have been enough water to erode the base of the Sphinx like that was the last I forgot what the last ice age, which was like over like
10,000
what was it, like
years. 10,000
10
years.
yeah
It's hard to kind
yeah
of pinpoint what happened because A lot of times when humans want to war, they would destroy records and bullshit like that. So it's kind of hard. I'm sure that there is a backup somewhere. And you know what? The funny thing is this, right? Ancient humans already knew that the Earth was round.
Yeah, they did.
And they already knew that. And on top of it, there was.
You know, I'm gonna go ahead, bro.
No, it's just been smart saying the Earth's flat. I'm not.
Flat. They also said this too, which was very interesting. There were Africans that had cocaine in their system.
Mm-hmm. Because that was a trade between this part of the world and the New World. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? This is a funny thing, right? The pyramid building we call today that ended up in Latin America and in what we call in parts of Asia like Cambodia where there are pyramids as well. Those are African-style pyramids. There was a trade. There was even sayings between the early explorers, or what we should actually call conquerors of the New World, that they ran into things that were African in the New World. People as well as objects like spears and weapons, even language. So yeah, it's nothing. The world has always, people have always been interconnected. It's just we come at it from a view today as the world. It's like my German friend. She says they act like the world just started in the year 1500. The world's always been doing something like that. But one last thing I want to say about ancient Egypt, right? There was an illustration once said that there was a water that was sitting at the base of the pyramids, and the pyramids were painted a different color than we see today.
They were white, and they were red, white, and black.
Exactly. And there was a river up to, and you know, and the oldest standing religious symbol in the world is the Sphinx. That's the old, because it was a symbol of a god. It was a symbol of a mankind growing from out of animalism. Like the brain changes first and then the body. So, and it was the face of a woman too. It was a female. That was the face of the first Sphinx.
You know what I'd love to have access to is the Vatican, you know, all the old scriptures and stuff like that. Because you imagine what they're hiding. It would be the truth, you know what I mean? Because the world would just go cuckoo. So it's enough. But do you believe in God or a higher power, or what do you guys believe in?
We don't know it's very, go on, Tara, because you had a lot of shit.
Well, to be honest with you, if you were to go to the ancient Sumerian text or even go into Persia, the story of Jesus Christ, even the story of Muhammad, has been told many times before. What's his name? Horus? That's Jesus in the ancient Egyptian lore. Baz is the oldest god in history that we know of, period, right? The Vatican, but you know why the Vatican has all this information? Because the Vatican is an offshoot of the Roman Empire, right? The Roman Empire destroyed the ancient library in Alexandria, Egypt, when Cleopatra was reigning as queen, right? They destroyed the ancient library. The records from the ancient library in Alexandria stretch back 20, 30, 40,000 years. Now, we don't even have any idea. We can't even imagine. We only could talk about 4,000 BC, 4,000 years before Christ. Who's to say what the world was like 20,000 BC, 40,000 BC? We have no idea.
Not a fucking clue. It is missing. It is a huge gap. And you don't just, I mean, I know I've seen some animals that would do some smart shit. You know what I mean? They would do some smart shit. They would walk around and, you know, I saw this fucking chimpanzee walking and just walking. I seen this bear was waving his fucking claws. Like, yo, bring that bread over here. Yeah, I was like, you know what I mean? Like, he really was like, no, right here, for real. Like, throw that piece of bread.
He was.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's crazy. You know, he mentioned that Jesus and the Egyptian, or you said Horus and Egyptian was Jesus, basically, right? Most of the religions that exist right now, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the deities that exist within each sort of like religious, I forgot the term, but pantheon, like religious pantheon, are all based off of the same entities.
Yeah, like the Catholics say, "Oh man, you're praying to Amen Ra, my brother. You just don't know." I'm like, I'm listening to this one. I'm like, wait a minute. They keep saying Amen. I'm like, you're saying Aman. You're saying Amen Ra. And they don't realize it. I don't think they realize it. Just like the whole thing with the Easter egg thing. That is another pagan thing. That's the sites of fertility. That has nothing to do with Jesus Christ.
Nope. And this is what I wanted to say. There's a couple of questions I want to pose before I close this out. So one of my questions is this. I'm trying to structure it in such a way where it can lead into the closeout. My thing is this, right? I heard like the technology that we have nowadays, to me, is inferior to the technology that they had back in the day. You know why I say this is because I don't think that they needed it at all.
We can't build the pyramids now.
No, I'm not talking about that.
I know.
I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm talking about communication over long distances. I don't even think they fucking needed any kind of cell phones or smoke signals. I think, and I was having this conversation. I don't know if it was with you, Ken, or anything like that. I think that when you don't have anything to do, right? Think about it. If someone erased all technology, like any kind of, our technology, electronic technology, right? We wouldn't be distracted anymore. We would that's why music was better back then and more complicated than it is now. This technology has made it very convenient for us, which also made a lot of parts of our brain atrophy. But if we didn't have the technology to actually distract us like it is now, I think we would have no choice because there's nothing else to fucking do but to meditate and really push our brains to the max. I think that they were able to connect with people without really using any kind of, it's like, I guess, telepathy, if you want to call it that. Like, you ever noticed this, right? You ever been in school and you felt someone looking at you?
Yeah.
And you would turn around in that same position as the person, in the same direction as the person looking at you, right? How did you know, A, that they were looking at you, B, where they were at, even though you didn't see them?
To this day, you can still feel people when they're looking at you.
You can still feel it. And everybody nonchalantly says, I felt that person looking at me. But did you really sit down and think, how? All of your senses points to you should have seen this bastard looking at you.
It's crazy because, they talk about, that everything sort of operates on its own vibration, within whatever the ether, if you want to call it that, right? And I know me and you've talked about this a lot, but there's something called a double slit test, right? A double slit test. What they do is they shoot a concentrated stream of electrons towards a surface, right? And then what they would do is they would test to see how the electrons would react on their own. And what they found was that when nobody was looking at the electrons as it was, being shot to the wall, it shot differently. It landed differently than when somebody was consciously aware, looking at it. So that sort of kind of led credence to the fact that consciousness has more power than what people believe.
And I'm gonna jump on that one because I got real spiritual years ago and started looking at the scientific explanation for certain things. Though, in terms of the double slit experiment, if you want to go ahead and look at that on YouTube, the double slit
insane.
It lets me know. It lets me know this. Go ahead and look it up. Go ahead and look it up, Senator. Double slit experiment. That shit is verifiable science.
Yeah, no, bro. I looked it up. I'm just saying that is just so strange how it knows it's being observed and it changes. It's just like it's programmed. It's crazy.
I don't think that it knows. I think that it's not that the atoms know.
I think
or the electrons know. I think that there is a massive consciousness.
Yeah.
And that massive consciousness has one truth, right? And these individual smaller consciousness needs to line up with that truth for it to behave a certain way. So if you're not looking at it, for the double slit experiment, when you shoot electrons at the two slits, right, in a beam, what happens is that all the possibilities of what those electrons would do would happen. But if you look at it, it's only the possibilities that you see, and it becomes so okay. So think of this: there's a backboard, or there's a wall. There's something dividing that room with two slits in there, and a gun that shoots all of the electrons out. And you would think to yourself, if that divider has two slits, that on the back wall, you would have a line of electrons on the back wall. Just two of them, because that's the only place it would go. But if you're not looking at it, it's all about possibilities. So you will see a band of lines, 20 of them, because all the possibilities the possibilities interfered with itself and created all of these lines. But if you look at it, it's two. If you don't look at it, it's 20.
Can I ask a question, Dan? Because this is interesting, right? When you're talking about this electron split test, is it a possibility that we're looking at the possibility of multi-dimensions? Because if we're seeing it in our perspective, maybe people are seeing it in other perspectives. Because that's what that is basically what that's telling me. Because if you're not looking at it and it's doing something different, that means wherever perspective's looking at it is shooting in that particular direction.
You know what, man?
But hold on, wait. It's the same position. It's this. Okay, remember I told you about the truth? There's an absolute truth, and that truth needs to sync up with the individual's truth for it to do something. So if I looked at it, our truth will see the two slits or the two bands of electrons, right? Everybody's going to see the same thing because that's the only possibilities that could happen at that moment. But if you're not looking at it, I believe it collapses all of the other possibilities in terms of all the possibilities are happening at the same time, right? If you're not looking at it, because there's nothing to verify it. But if you're looking at it, you're verifying that it's this specific truth that could happen. And then it collapses all the other ones. Where does it go? The other collapsed ones? I don't know. But I see consciousness as a driver, and you have all of the roads or all of the possibilities that you can go to.
Maybe consciousness is something beyond our understanding, because we think of consciousness as between something that individuals have. Maybe the world has a consciousness too. We just cannot perceive what consciousness is on a greater level. I'm being honest.
Have you guys heard of this? You ever hear of musicians? I love music. But you ever hear of musicians that be like, I don't know where I got it from. I got it from somewhere. In terms of whatever music they were making.
Yeah, I know.
I believe that and I love Full Metal Alchemist. If you don't know, I love that shit. I believe that there is a database, not literally, but like a place. I don't know where the fuck it would be located. Some kind of dimension that all possibilities and all information is there. All information is there, right? And I believe sometimes if your consciousness is strong enough, you could tap into this fucking library of all information that could ever happen.
Now, here's something I want to tell you, right? You just said something that sparked my mind, right? I remember this man, I forgot which book writer it was, said that when he used to write books, he used to dream of the places, and those became the realities in his novels. Was it Tolkien? I don't know if it was Tolkien or somebody else. I forget who he was, right? He wrote about elves and dragons and shit. And everybody's mind state said he was talking about the past. And when somebody asked him once, he was speaking about the future. Okay.
Like, I truly believe in this particular case, I feel like people kind of simplify our reality. It's a lot more complicated than what you believe. Go on, Center. Center, you there?
Center link.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I just read it. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I just read an article. I've seen it really quick about the whole world. I read an article happened a couple of years ago, but the whole world was thinking about something. I don't know, something happened in the world. Did any of you know about that? I don't know.
Yes, it's called the Mandela effect.
No, not that. Not actually that. Not that.
No. But I know what you mean. But this kind of goes to what we were talking about before. And it's kind of like The Secret that they say shit like that. If you believe something heavy enough, then it will manifest. And I hate to say it like this, but I do cells, right? And it's going to sound crazy. I don't give a fuck, but I do cells. If I want the cell to happen, I can feel that it's about to happen. I don't know how to say it. I know it's going to happen. I know, like, I do calls. So I'll receive a call and I'm like, this is the one. and everything would fall in line to make that happen. It was almost as if she was pulled to me or he was pulled to me for that cell to happen. I could feel it, and I don't know how to quantify that. I really don't. And as a matter of fact, I'm so good at sales, I am number one in my company for the East Coast.
Wow. What's up, King Thrash? I see you over there, brother. Speak up. What's up?
Where you at?
King Thrash is right there. He's muted, but he's in here with us.
Oh, he's peeking in there. Yeah. But that's how I feel. I see you. So we were just talking about like the like the nature of reality and shit like that, and how there were civilizations that collapsed somehow. So I have two different things, right? I noticed that there's a bias in this world for a certain race, and don't take offense to it if you're not this race, right? It just so happens to be what it is. It seems like a lot of races cannot stand Africans at all. And I always wonder why. It's like they know something that we don't, if you're black.
I don't know what it is. You just have bigger penises than everyone, so everyone gets jealous.
Oh, wow.
Everything would have been fine, right? Everything would have been fine. So when the Europeans were actually like doing trade, everything was fine. They were like, okay, cool. You know, like the Africans had the grass skirts. And a cool gust of wind blew by and unveiled that shit. They was like, oh no. Oh, hell no.
You know what it was, brother? Like the old ones say, the African empire, this is long before the tribes came along. Africans used to dominate the globe. You still find black people scattered in places where they're nowhere near Africa, and this is way before the slave trade, right? When the cataclysm was supposed to happen, like I said, they say it was like 15 to 25,000 years ago, those black people were trapped there. You know what I'm saying? And they stayed there to this day. So, I mean, listen, just like today, white people kind of dominate the world, right? The world that they made will fall just like the ancestors that we have built the world and it failed. The world is like a cycle. It happens over and over again.
Well, this sounds more, this probably sounds political. And some people, if you've ever like spoken to like an actual African person or from Africa or lives in Africa, I've been in a lot of these spaces and stuff like that, and I'm friends with some of them, and they're pretty cool, people. But like, not even the Black Americans like them per se, because they have a.
That's not true.
They have a different aspect when it comes to like the whole race theory, like people being racist and all this other stuff. Like they have a different mindset when it comes to that whole, talk, right?
You know why they have a different mindset? Let me tell you what the mindset is different, right? One, they are on the continent of Africa, right? We are on the continent of North America, right? Where they live in that the ideal of race is still there with them. They know it's there. But they feel like they have other issues to worry about. Like just like if like if you was in a different place, you wouldn't worry about the same issues that this other person had, even if you were the same exact color or ethnicity or anything like that. That's all it is. And as far as us not liking them, I have no issue with my brothers and sisters from the mainland of Africa or the Caribbean, or if they live in Latin America or Brazil. I have no issues with nobody or anybody, period. Anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, but that's you though, right?
I think he meant from the other way around. I think he meant from the other way around, right? Where a lot of the mainland, the African individuals don't like the African American culture.
Sometimes, yeah, that's true.
What's it like being black in America? Honestly, what is it like? I'd like to go through every single one of you who are black in here. What's it really like, down to the heart? What's it like being black in America?
I'm gonna tell you this, right? Wait, I'm gonna tell him this.
Class was about to blow up. We about to talk.
No, good. Hold on, wait. Sony versus. What you got to say on this one? And
Uncle Stam got his noose around our necks.
Please don't make it a race thing, dear Lord.
No, we should be able to talk. We should be able to talk. We should be able to talk like adults and be okay with agreeing to disagreeing. Sony verse, what you have to say?
And can I just say, only reason I want to know, because I'm white in Australia and I have no problem whatsoever. We have no problem over here with black people, and we call them Aboriginals. You know, there's just no drama.
Y'all weren't here before. He said that he's white, right? He buys his daughters some black baby dolls.
It wouldn't go well in America.
Y'all didn't hear about that. Centerlink is about it. He was like, yo, I want that afro. You gonna play with this toy, yo. You gonna learn some culture, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Where's Thrash going?
Oh, well, if you want to know what's going on with blacks in America and you live in Australia, don't stress about it, my nigga. You live in Australia. Like, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what's going on now, it's because you ain't been paying attention. Just like I haven't been paying attention to what's going on in Mexico and why a lot of Hispanics want to come to America. I'm like, why here? Nigga, like, shit. So I'm pretty sure there's problems over there to where people want to come over here, but I don't know their problems. You know what I'm saying? Because I got my own. So if you ain't got that problem, don't worry about it. Don't stress your brain over it, bro. It's not,
I mean,
not
I feel like, honestly, Thrash, I feel like he could add. I mean, it's good to wonder.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Trust me. I mean, I believe asking all the questions are what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to ask the questions. You're supposed to get the answers. The problem with your question is that there's too many answers. You know what I'm saying?
Australian Flash. I understand totally where you're coming from. I understand, but Australian media is dominated by American headlines. You know, every time we are so fucking influenced by American culture over here. It's like our own fucking 6 o'clock news. It's all American news, basically. If there's nothing going on in Australia, you know.
I mean, yeah, that's every race everywhere on. Like, let me tell you what my thoughts are, because I think about this shit all the time, man. Me and before my pops passed away, we talked about this all the time. Like, if you look at the Japanese, right, or if you even look at the Africans, if you look at every race on this planet, everybody lost their culture to be like whites or Americans. What I mean by that is, if you go back into how Asians used to dress back in the day, right, Genghis Khan era, whatever, right, they had their own style, their own type of armor, their own walk, their own way, everything. And now and these are businessmen, right, or whatever, merchants, whatever. But then if you go in to look at these same merchants today, they dress in suits just like white folks. Same thing with Africans. Same thing with Russians. Wherever the fuck you want to look at, if you're in that business culture, like, everybody has copied the white man,
the Western style, the Western style.
Yeah, everybody's copied that. Everybody's lost their own way. They look at everybody looks up to these white folks, because white folks are not only dangerous, but and I don't mean like dangerous as a people. I mean just the perception of the earth. White people are supposed to are dangerous and smart to people. That's how people think they are. They done a lot of stuff to push shit forward. Japanese used to fuck with the fucking Americans. They drop a bomb on their ass, and like nobody ever dropped a bomb on somebody like that and just walked away like it was nothing, like killing millions of people. You know what I'm saying? They were willing to actually go there and do that, and that like made everybody else stand in attention. America makes a ton of money because they treat their people worse than everybody else on the planet. We the only major country.
You said it right the first time, brother.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Major company.
Our neighbors, our poorer neighbors, like in Cuba, you can go and get diabetic medicine for like $15, and it's like $200-300 out here. You know, for no reason. Same medicine, same price. They just up every price. They treat us the worst, but then the country makes all this money, and then on top of that, our country is so greedy that they send out jobs to other countries because it's cheaper out there, because they don't want to pay the people who live in this country, who actually buy the product that they're trying to sell.
But that affects whites as well.
You said what?
That affects the whites as well. That affects white people.
Yeah.
That's why Terrence said company, because it's a culture. It's this Western culture that is run by white people. So they again is in their best interest, and it's all for their people.
I will say this too for white people, right? Listen to what I'm going to say. White culture does not necessarily mean white people. The white culture we talking about has influence and changed. Russian culture, which is a white culture, is nothing like it used to be. They kind of went along going towards the West. It's like when I talk to my friend in Germany, she does not like white Americans because she feels like the culture from white America is dominating German culture. You know what I'm saying? That's what they
Right.
mean by they say about white culture. Because
What's
white people here, when they first came here from other, what they called it, the Great Migration across the ocean, the influx of Irish, all these different European people, they had to become white people to be part of America. They were not white people at first. They were Jews, they were Germans, they were Goths, they was all this other shit, right? And as they so-called enter America's melting pot, then they became white people. Now, if you're talking about yourself as a race, I'm talking about white culture that dominates the globe. I mean, you go to places like I've been to the Philippines, I've been to Africa. You know, people over there, like the women especially, it's bad. Everybody wants to be lighter skinned. That comes from white culture dominating the world, and it's not just
well?
among.
It's
Go
not.
ahead.
It's not just white culture. You can't just blame white culture. You got to
Yeah,
blame just how the perspective of everything is. They
yeah,
call
that too.
we call white people white. They're not really white. They peach. They call black people black. They're not really black. They're brown.
We're brown.
But those two colors are the exact opposite, and one represents evil, and the other one doesn't. When you
Well,
look
one.
at everything, wait, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead,
Like,
brother.
if you got like white, you got white clouds. You got angels. They always in white. God always in white. You see a white light when you go to heaven. You just everything, bro. Everything white is fucking a good thing. Every house is white. White. All good shit. Black? Oh, that's the devil. Oh, it's scary at night. Oh, I'm scared of this black room.
Black
Black
magic.
instills fear. You know what I'm saying? Naturally, right? That's not even a race thing. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the color we named it, and that's the color that it is. And that color is a dark color. Everything black sheep and all everything that has to do with black.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not everything, but almost everything that has to do with black is instilled in us as something negative. So we are already, as a people, viewed negatively, subconsciously, because everything that we're named after is evil as well. And then if you look at white, everything that's named after angels and all that shit is what you see in white. So
Yep.
it's different. Like it's not just a race thing. It's more of how our cultures are fucked. I mean, people don't even think about half the shit they should be thinking about. Like when it comes to the Bible and shit, I'd be like, God, like who
Mm-hmm.
wrote the Bible? And then I'd be like, no. They'd be like, well, this guy. I'm like, cool, that guy wrote it. But I'm talking about who translated it from this
Mm-hmm.
language to English. And did that person make any mistakes? And then people don't want to ask them kind of questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if that person made a single mistake, then that ruins the whole Bible. And there are mistakes that are made and confirmed to be false that they kept in there because it sounded better. Like Moses,
Mm-hmm.
like in the Bible, he split a river called Red or some shit like that, but they mistranslated it and said it was the Red Sea. But the Red Sea is more awesome, so they never corrected it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just beyond all that extra shit. It's just that humans are stupid. We believe in making things better than what they really are. Looking
Mm-hmm.
what's better than what really are. We're giving each other different levels of life and we shouldn't. But that's holding back our evolution itself. Because there's a lot of black people who don't get jobs, a lot of Hispanics who don't get jobs, not of every race who don't get jobs of every race, because everybody has this racism instilled in them to where we can't even evolve mentally and invent different type of shit because we're stopping that guy who might have invented like homemade moon rocks or whatever the fuck fucking you know what I'm saying? We should have been there by now. We literally been stagnant. If you go look at fucking Back to the Future and see that, what was it, 2018 he went to or some shit like that? They thought we
Yeah.
was going to be in hover cars by then.
Yeah.
You
We thought
know?
we'd be having flying
And we
cars and
still the
shit.
same
Ain't none of
race.
that happened.
Nigga, our skateboards still fucking on wheels. Our shoes still don't tie themselves. Well, some do now, but it's like there's no change from those shits back in the day than it was now. And y'all don't understand how rapidly we advanced back in the day. We went from horses to cars. Like we only had cars for like 90 years now, or some shit like that. Cars have been around for one lifetime, and it's already damaging the planet. But we've evolved from horses to cars that quick, making the
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure that quick, and then now we're just stagnant. We can't even. Niggas don't even want to go to the moon or try to go to the moon for the first time because I know they lied about it the first time. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. But nobody said.
But Thrash, can I ask you a question real quick, brother? You do realize we stayed with horses for like 10,000 years, right? The horse has been around.
That's what I'm saying. There was a rapid change, bro. Like rapid, and then we stopped again. You know what I'm saying? It was a rapid change. And then we were accelerating. They thought we was going to keep accelerating, but it paused once again. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this too. Sick. You wanted to say something? What's going on, dude? What's going on?
Oh no. I'm just chilling, bro. I got a fucking headache out of this world, but I thought this was a great conversation. Definitely something different than what we usually talking about. But I think I want to give a different perspective on all this, man, because I see myself a little bit different from everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I mean by that is, I think we don't put enough onus on ourselves to educate ourselves and because I mean all of the information is out there. Y'all probably like, yo, what
Oh no, I know what you mean
about?
For sure.
I mean, the reason why people are so easy to control is because they're stupid. They want everything done for them. They don't want to get out there and do anything for themselves, bro. Like I'm gonna tell you, dog. I am 6'5", probably like 310 now, and I have dreads, bro. I've never been denied a job. I've turned down jobs. I've had multiple jobs or multiple offers for jobs, and I've literally turned them down. You know what I'm saying? So I see things a little bit different, man. And don't get me wrong, racism is very much alive. A lot of people try to play like it don't exist. Oh, it definitely does exist. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know what it feels like until you walk into a store and you got the N-word being thrown around. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? And not even just that. It's a lot of different scenarios where we have to prep our kids differently from other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they can't do the same shit that everybody else can do. You know what I'm saying? They don't get away with the shit. Let me tell you, if my kid would have went to, I don't know, let's say fucking
Kenosha,
Georgia,
Wisconsin. You talking about Kenosha,
like
Wisconsin?
Yeah. Let's just, but we're gonna give it a different situation, right? If my son went to Georgia, talk about he about to go protect Georgia, and he got a fucking weapon and shit like that, and he ended up killing 2 people, I'd never see my son again. That would be it. There wouldn't be nobody cheerleading, talking about he's a patriot, talking about he's one of the good guys, and all of that other bullshit that they say. Dog, the thing is, if you sitting up here and you trying your best to say that this shit don't really exist and all of this bullshit happens to everybody, then you're part of the issue. You're part of the fucking problem because you see exactly what's going on. But for some reason, people don't like to take ownership because then they feel like they hold some sort of responsibility.
Most people are like that.
But honestly,
most people are like that. They don't want to take no responsibility.
But honestly, staying silent ain't gonna be, it ain't gonna be no better. But I mean, realistically, man, I'm gonna tell you, dog, like, I read a lot of books. I read a ton of books, bro. Especially, from the field that I came from. Like right now, I'm going through a process where I have to renew my certifications and things like that. And man, a lot of people won't pick up a book nowadays, dog. We got all this information that's readily available to us on the internet, and nobody utilizes that shit. Everybody want to fucking be on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Snapchat, making the next TikTok video, bro. But they will not do anything to help themselves, bro. So ultimately, I feel like a lot of the reason why we haven't progressed as a people is because nowadays it's just cool to be lit, if that makes sense.
And I'm going to interject here. This is what we were talking about with the lost civilizations. Like, we have so much distractions. We can't progress because of all of these distractions on there. And it's just the self-centeredness of it all. And that leads into my last question for you guys. Now, Sticks, you jumped in there. You want to say anything before I ask my last question?
Oh, yeah. No, I was actually just chiming in when Thrash was talking about how black is used to describe things, and I was saying blackmail is still a crime. Imagine that. A bunch of black males on this panel. We are a crime. Go figure.
It stinks that it's like that, but like what Sick was saying, though, oh, well, I get it. But like what Sick was saying, though, there's adversities and not limitations, but like there's obstacles in our way. But if we just sit there and be like, whoa, woe was me, and don't try to do anything about it, you know what I mean? We're not going to progress. So
I agree with that, but I don't think any of us are part of the woe is me. You know, most of us are enlightened. So I do kind of find it reductive when we have these conversations among ourselves, and then we're like, we shouldn't be woe is men because we're kind of trying to think of solutions, and we've already found the individual solution. You know, that's why we're all here. But we got to look back and reach back to our brothers, and we can't all be looking at them and saying, "Hey, you got to be like me," because not everybody is like us. We are like the talented 10th.
Which make
Now we got too many people that got a victim mentality.
yeah, that's
though,
what we're
dog.
saying.
That's the one thing that I
over
can't deal
here,
with, bro.
this panel of people, we are, you know, we're different. We ain't the same. But there's a lot of victim mentality. And I want to ask you.
I'm gonna tell you,
Is that actually true though? Because I don't even think that most of the people who we claim to have a victim mentality, I mean, they are victims in many ways, but most of them don't have the education to know that they're victims. So I don't know if that's actually true.
but that's hold on. Let me stop you right there. They don't have the education, brother. Listen, whatever is in those books can be found for free on that same cell phone that they using to get on TikTok, nigga. Like, at what point do you give, or at what point do you take ownership of your fucking life, dog? If you sitting up here depending on somebody to give you a job, dog, that's your first mistake. Those people don't owe you no fucking job, dog. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Any job that I've ever been to is because I added to the situation. I was an asset. I wasn't the liability. You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm there, they're producing more money. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not gonna do the work to get the education to make yourself valuable, bro, you can't expect somebody to just take you in because you need a job. Nigga, everybody need a job. All of the people in the world need a fucking job, dog.
And that's
what can you do for me to help me?
And I want to, yeah, Dante, go on.
All right, I'm gonna music, right? I'm just gonna call you music because I don't know your actual name or whatever. So I'm gonna say this, right? I'm 34 years. I'm gonna say this right now in front of everybody, right? Because we got some people in here that's been before Persona and shit like that. And Stick, you said something completely that two minds. That's all I have to say. I'm 34, right? I grew up in the ghetto, right? And I got out of that shit, went into the foster system, was abused, had some other shit happen, went through the foster system, went through fucking homeless whole bullshit, right? I'm here, bro. Do you see what I'm saying? There's could have been plenty of times I could have been shot up, or I could have said the wrong thing to somebody, right? I could have. There's all sorts of shit, right? And I've already been through hell to begin with, and then going through the foster homes and going through those same things I just escaped my home from. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's some shit that I went through that still affect me today. Do you see what I'm saying? So it like when people try to bring, I'm Black, white, Puerto Rican, and Mexican, all right? So when people try to bring the whole race thing to me,
God damn, hold on, can you explain that one?
My mom is white and Puerto Rican, and my dad is Black and Mexican. So
Black,
that's
Mama
crazy.
Brown.
Yo, that's crazy.
when people bring a race issue to me, yes, I know that there is racism in the world, but I'm not gonna sit here and use that as a deplorable tool to say, oh, this is the reason why I can't get this because of the white man or the system or systemic racism or any of that shit, right? Where I'm at today, just like Stickman was saying, right, is because of me. Nobody else, right? Nobody helped me get that, even when I was down at my low.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question, my nigga? Are you a white-looking, Mexican, Black, Latino, Asian, or brown skin?
What do you mean by that? I'm light-skinned, if that's what you're trying to ask.
Where you at? Because if you was a dark nigga like me...
You're saying that you would have a harder time being darker.
Exactly.
Well, that's not true. I've seen people of your color make it out the hood too.
I won't say that either. I mean, it's your mentality at the end of the day.
Listen, brother, I feel you, but it does play a role.
You can't. I get it, and so does being Black, and so does being a minority. Of
course. I mean, listen. If you sit down and talk to somebody and you get to know them, You say, okay, that's a nice person or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But being black, you judge as soon as somebody see you,
We get that.
especially being a young black man. They don't know like Stick. He said he's 6'5", 300 pounds with dreads. They don't know this brother read tons of books and got all these certifications. If he go to the gas station right now at nighttime and it's a white person there, he's a thug.
But the takeaway thing is that he turned that whole situation around. He
Listen, man.
blast
Hold
through
on,
that
hold on.
and was
Not
able to do
even
that.
that.
Let me
Not even that. But
put it. Okay,
I
hold
feel
on,
like that's an
hold on real quick.
assumption
Let me get
of
one.
all white people.
Now, most of them. You feel me? Just like if I see a snake outside and I don't really know about snakes, I should tell my daughter that I should assume it's poisonous because
Until
she can't differentiate between which snake is non-venomous and which one is venomous. So I'll just tell
Well,
her,
let me tell you
chill.
this.
So I'll just tell her,
You
stay away
you you
from all
right.
snakes.
You
And then when you get older
whoever
and you
this
get the right knowledge and the right information, then you can discern between which one is venomous and non-venomous. Then you can make that decision. But because you a baby in knowledge, you don't know. I'm gonna tell her just stay away from snakes in general. Just like you would tell her, hey, don't talk to strangers. But when she gets old
no.
enough, she's going to talk to a stranger, but she has the knowledge to discern, okay, this nigga's crazy or this one isn't. This, you feel me? So what I'm saying is that we're talking about black people. You judge off of your appearance, the way you look. You black. I just called the cable company an hour ago because my league pass wasn't working. They're running a special if you got Comcast. You know what I mean? You can get it half off for the whole year. I'm talking to the dude like, yo, it's on here. It's half off. He's sitting there thinking I'm lying the whole time. Now, if I was a white boy, he would just put my information in.
so I'm going to
But
okay.
I've been
So
arguing with this motherfucker for 30 minutes.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop it right here. Okay, Sick. What are you gonna say?
Well, let me just say this. Look, the brother who was
Yes,
just
sir.
speaking, I understand exactly what you're saying, brother, and you are not wrong.
Exactly.
You are not wrong. A lot of people prejudge. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that's not just one group of people
It's
that
all of them.
prejudge. You know what I'm saying?
Even
You mean to tell me? Let me ask you a
yeah.
question. When you see a police officer,
Mm-hmm.
you already have a
Yeah, I'm
preconceived
going the other
notion
way.
about
I'm going
police
the other way
officers.
because I don't feel like the bullshit.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, bro. As humans always prejudge to a
I
certain
get
degree,
you.
man. But the thing
Mhm.
is, ultimately, look, you ain't gonna be able to change racism, dog. It
Absolutely,
ain't gonna fucking
absolutely
happen,
not.
dog. That shit is embedded at the lowest level of fucking familyhood for some
Yes,
people.
sir.
It's so normal to some
Yeah.
people that they have no idea that it's even wrong. They don't know that they're doing anything bad
Exactly. That's
because
why I
this
said
is how
about the
the
Hold
snake.
people
on, one
around
at a
them
time.
speak.
One at a time.
Okay, I mean,
Hold
I mean,
on, but
because it was.
this is because this is how these people speak around their family members and shit like that. Don't get me wrong. A lot of shit used to be said in my house too, like cracker this and
Yeah,
cracker that. I used to
guess
hear
what?
that shit all the fucking time, dog.
I
But
can't
here's
deny
the
that
thing,
nigga
man.
no
You
mortgage
can't.
payment though.
No.
I
But
can't.
here's
I'm
the
just a
thing,
nigga
dog.
from Philly. You
Hold
know what
on,
I'm saying?
one at a time.
I can't be like your
No,
kid can't
it's
come
all
to this
good. But
college. I don't give a fuck how
but
much
that's the
money you
thing.
got. You ain't coming here.
All of the stuff that you're saying is
Yeah.
absolutely not true, but you have convinced yourself that this is a fact.
I didn't,
So me trying
brother.
to disprove what you're saying would be a
No, I'm
fruitless
not. It's
endeavor,
not
dude.
about proving or disproving. What I'm saying is that we got some people on here that's from other countries who don't understand the way that America is as being a black person. Now, just like your experience, you said you walk into a store and people was using the N word. I don't know where you live, but in Philly that don't happen. But I guess you live down south. and that happens. So even in America,
Absolutely. I live in
exactly. So
Florida.
even in America, there's different dynamics to the racism. I never walked in no
Yeah,
store in
but the thing
Pennsylvania,
is, brother,
motherfucker, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this. You feel me? But they
the
probably
the
got to
whole
say,
point is you can't let that shit
listen,
define
brother,
you, bruh.
brother,
You can't let that be the
I
ultimate
don't give a
path
fuck what these
blocking you,
white
Hold
people
brother.
on,
do, man.
I gotta mute the
Just
mic.
give me my money.
I have to mute it because we have to move on. And I'll unmute it. So like, the point is, you gotta blast past it, or else you're not gonna go anywhere. If you sit down stagnant and just worry about what the world is doing and all the negative things, then you're not going to go anywhere. There's many people that are black that blast through that shit. That's the problem.
Well, the whole thing that I was trying to explain to him before he went on this tangent is, bruh, I own 10 fucking properties now, dog.
Brother,
I don't live by that
I'm
same
41
notion
years
that
old.
you live by, dog. Like you're
Brother.
talking about you can't get a mortgage in
No, I
certain
didn't say
places and
I
shit
did.
like
That's
that,
not
dog.
what I said. I said I
That
don't
is
have the power
exactly what
to
you said,
deny
brother.
a white person to get a
Well,
mortgage. So
right,
like, no,
right, but see that's
hold
the
up, brother.
problem.
Can I say my piece real quick?
You just
No,
said
no, no,
your
no, no,
piece.
no,
He
no,
had
no.
to mute
Hold
you
on, real
because you
quick.
wouldn't stop
You
talking,
said
bruh.
that if you know in your family member.
My nigga, you a victim, dog. You got a
Man, I
victim
listen,
mentality. That's
brother.
the whole thing that we was talking
I'm
about.
not,
That's the whole thing that we was talking about.
brother.
Brother,
You
everything
missing
that
my
you have
point.
said is about people
That's
denying
not
you.
what I'm
People
saying,
denying
I
brother.
you.
gotta do what
I
I gotta
can't get
do.
this.
I
I
mean,
can't
look,
get that. Wait. Hold on,
he's gone. He's gone. He's
guys.
gone.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
He's gone.
Huh?
Yo,
Gotta get rid of him.
Oh, damn. Why you kicked
I
him,
kicked him
brother?
because I need to move it the hell alone. That's why.
Yeah,
No.
that
I
kind of
feel
been
you,
going
but
around in
bruh,
circles.
it was definitely going to go around in circles. But the problem is, dog, that's the main point that I was trying to make to y'all. Like, stop being a fucking victim, dog. There's way for you to do these things, bro. You don't have to depend on somebody being able to give you something or having to give you something. Go and take what the
This is
fuck
what
you want.
happens in poverty-stricken, mostly black areas that I've seen. I'm not that far from Philadelphia either. So I already know what it is. A lot of people in Philly, including my family, don't want to get out of Philly, but complain about Philly. And they have the ability to go to Philly. I mean, get out of Philly because they work in New Jersey. Or they're working in neighboring cities. I mean, in neighboring states. They want to be there because there's the victimhood that you mentioned before. Now, I'm going to answer your.
I feel bad. I honestly feel bad for the
But
brother,
there's
though.
no
You know why?
convincing. I just had an argument with somebody.
No. It ain't about convincing, bro. The thing is, bro, he has so many opportunities to build these things for his own community, bro. Like, that's the thing that I look at, and I know a lot of people listen to what I say and they think like, yo, why are you talking like this? But none of these people, imagine me creating a business in my basement, which I do have my own business, my merch business, different things that I fucking do. But imagine me building my own business and then a motherfucker telling me that I have to hire them because for reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at that shit from every perspective. If you have something to offer me that can help me build better, then I'm gonna hire you for that job. But I don't owe you that job, dog. Stop looking like these people owe you something. They don't owe you nothing, and you don't owe them nothing, bruh.
One last thing.
So when you establish and build shit for yourself, you can establish that shit for your generation, brother. The way I'm looking at this shit, dog. When my kids get older, they're not gonna have to go through the struggles and pains of having to fucking buy a house, bruh. They gonna be ready out the gate. But that's because of what I built. I built that shit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking for somebody else to help me build that. I knew that I needed money and I knew that I didn't want to make minimum wage. So what did I do? I educated and elevated myself. I went and did what I had to do so that I could have the knowledge where people require my fucking knowledge and skills. And that's what the fuck I did.
Can you guys hear me?
I'm talking about, bro. I parlayed that shit into fucking Bitcoin and fucking Crowcoin and Doge and Shiba, nigga.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
this. My phone just crashed. I'm going to say this, right? Because I'm going to wrap it up here.
You can move it on though. You can move it on though. I ain't gonna hold it no longer. It's just I feel bad.
I do. I look sick. I feel bad too because I come from an extremely poor background. Like it was really fucking bad. I mean, I'm sure people was worse, but mine was really bad as well. And I just didn't see it that way. To just sit there and can bitch and complain about possibilities. I found a way. And I just hate seeing that shit, especially in the and the black community where you become a victim and don't want to do anything about it. Yeah, it's and then I'll say this, Dante, the insinuation that because you're light skinned that you don't have it fucking difficult is irritating to me.
Yo, I fucking hate that shit, bro. I've gotten that shit all my fucking life, and it's fucking annoying. It just pisses me off to the fucking core, because motherfucker, how you gonna act like I ain't been through... How you gonna act like I ain't fucking had bullets fly past my motherfucking head? Like, how the fuck you... Like,
but we got, like Sick got his picture up. I got my picture up. Ain't nobody... Like, I'm not yellow. The fuck? You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. Like, don't even go there. And you said that, like, Six, he got his dreadlocks and stuff like that, or his locks, and he went over there and they cared about him. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Think of that shit as demon souls.
No, but it's not, though.
I know. But you just did what you had to do without even thinking about it. You're like, okay, cool. I'm going to prove myself, and it worked that way. But think of it like demon souls. You know, when you play demon souls, you have different body types or different people. And some of them is harder than the others to get through the game. You start off, it's difficult, and you level up, and you keep it the fuck moving. It's going to be, it's not going to be equal.
But you know what's funny?
It's a pay-to-win game is the problem. It's a pay-to-win game, and all the white people already have VC when they start the game. You know what I'm saying?
That's how do you explain? How do you explain Oprah? How do you explain Michael Jackson? How do you explain all those?
You can't really use that as an excuse to not want to, elevate your own education.
The thing,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I understand that because I'm educated. We are working harder than other people to get where we at.
It's very true. It's very true. Let me say this really quickly to oh God, did he leave? Okay, he requested. All right, hold on.
It'll be easier for your kids though from the work that you put in now.
So,
in fact, I mean, it's as if we misunderstand capital, though, when we have these conversations. Like, I understand the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We've all been through all kinds of ridiculous shit, but obviously capital is like the main thing here, and it's a denial of capital. Even when we work hard, that we still got to have all this capital, and income is not easy to come by, even if you have a job. So it's just weird that we have to call everybody a victim when, motherfuckers do work hard and they ain't get shit out of it a lot of the time.
We didn't, but again, but one of the things I want to say is like when you have them, see, I'm going to sound like that dude, but it is what it is. When you have that mentality and people can feel that shit. When you don't really like them, but you just there just to be there because you need to make a paycheck. People feel that shit. And if you come in at a place that hire you and you have a shitty attitude, you're not going to get promoted. No, it ain't going to work out for you.
The thing. Why are we looking for jobs instead of creating?
That's a whole other thing.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
you know what, man?
Look,
50 years.
It ain't even about capital no more. You know why? Because let me tell you something I realized. Right, from going on Fiverr, right? Like you go on Fiverr, you're looking for somebody to make some emotes and shit like that, right? You have a lot of people from third world fucking countries, and they make it their business to offer their services, bruh. Now you telling me that those people are well off than a motherfucker in a fucking first world country, dog?
Not to
Come
mention,
on, bruh. Stop with the excuses. Dog, we gotta create shit. We gotta start creating stuff, bro.
And then on top of it, we sell out. We sell out too. A lot of people sell out that are black and give their businesses to fucking other people. You know what I'm saying? Just to make a quick buck.
No. Let me stop you there. The reason why you create businesses is to grow said businesses. And of course, you're going to want to sell those businesses. Look at Instagram before Facebook bought it. Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion. Nigga, they leveled up.
So
if you can create it once, you can create it again and again And again,
so I'm gonna say this, Centerlink. You mentioned something a while ago, actually, about how is it to be in the United States because your media is being skewed. And I'm not going to answer the question directly, but what I will say is that you're absolutely right. But you have to be knowledgeable and search for the information yourself to see what's going on. But what I can say is in my job, a customer asked me what was going on because she was moving from New York to Virginia. And she thought it was going to be racist. And I explained to her, when I went to Virginia and when I went to fucking Texas, it is nothing like what the media shows at all. It was really crazy that she was like, she was afraid to go down there. She thought it was going to be some crazy shit. It just isn't. They were saying that people don't wear their mask in Texas. It was half the fucking people. It looked the same way up north than it did down there. It's the same thing. And media is going to say what they're going to say, what they're going to say.
Josh, you know what, man? On that whole thing about capital, man. Maybe like 60 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I would be more inclined to be like, yeah, obviously it was difficult to get funding for building your own business and building your own shit. Nowadays, man, there are just too many fucking opportunities, man. The internet has changed every fucking thing. You know what I mean? There should not be anybody in here who says that they do not have an opportunity to do something, to build their own shit, to build their own business, to elevate their own education. The shit is just there. People just don't want to take advantage of it.
His argument, Ken, is that
you know what the issue is though. You know what the issue is though. People would rather go walk into a business that's already established and flip some fries, dog, or flip some burgers, bro. Because they don't have to do anything except for show up.
Unfortunately, that's what they're taught. Niggas tell them go to college, get into debt. That's what the pipeline is. Technically, when we have the knowledge, we gotta give it to other people. Really, that's all we could do. But we can't keep saying that they ain't this and they ain't that if we ain't sharing.
I think you're missing over what I'm saying, though. I think you're missing over what I'm saying, bro. You can Google several different ways of making money from the comfort of your home without ever having to step out that bitch. The problem is niggas care more about what these rappers and Instagram thoughts is fucking doing that they not doing any research for themselves.
You can't sit there and say that, they were taught to do it. It's a part of a pipeline. Because again, my product where I used to be when I was younger it was pure hell. I literally was nothing but fucking drugs and gang banging. I got out of it. I didn't want to deal with it. I wasn't even taught to do that. You know what? I didn't want any part of it.
You know how crazy this fucking thing about, people idolizing these fucking, like rappers and these celebrities and shit like that. Motherfucker Biden literally had an interview with fucking Cardi B because he knew he had access to millions of people, who follow her. You know what I mean? And her bullshit. And that's powerful. That's fucking powerful.
It is.
No matter how small
psychological conditioning and propaganda. I mean, it's a lot of factors that contribute to why other people don't understand what we understand. But
that, like the guy that had to get booted out, like that guy, it was no one can tell him because his reality was what we were talking about. He in his head he made it that way. That he couldn't do anything and he was going to sit in his own reality and not do anything at all. I want to let Isaac talk real quick, Center.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, bro? Don't forget to follow if you guys like the content, by the way.
All right. So yeah, I just had a few questions. I mean, it seems like this is a gaming space, but I think we're just talking about life in general. So
the last part is typically about like off-topic shit.
Oh,
that's all.
I see.
We already passed the gaming shit.
I got you. So I mean, I was just gonna share some gaming shit, but I guess since we're beyond that, so
no, you can still share it. That's
okay.
I have no problem with that.
I was just gonna say, like, I bought like the GTA stuff. Oh my god, bro! Oh my god.
The GTA collection?
Yeah, and like they fuck you so hard, dude. And like oh my god. And
I didn't mind it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't fucking mind it. I purchased it. The nostalgia is so strong. is so
that's what I'm
strong.
saying, man. Like they can sell you garbage and just they
Look,
can
I
sell you
don't look.
anything.
I go to McDonald's and I eat that food too. I know what I'm getting into. I knew it was shit.
McDonald's at least got those hash browns. Okay, they do
You
something
right.
right.
You right. Them hash browns is busting. You right. Center. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I just back to sick. It sounds like he's pretty switched on, and it's true. If you want it, you'll get it. It doesn't matter where you live, who's around you, and that comes with age as well. When you're young, you're very influenced by your peers and the people around you and by media, if you're into that, So, but if you want to make money and you want to get out of somewhere, if you want it, you'll get it. And it's so true. You don't have to leave home to make money in this day and age.
Self-reliance.
Okay, so I know somebody that was really heavy into he is a couple of people is heavy into cryptocurrency, heavy into stock. There's a lot of shit you can really, really, really do given the time and the dedication. It doesn't matter what it is. To me, it's such a cop out to say that, oh, well, it's this, it's Jim Crow. Like we all kind of know what Jim Crow is, but yeah, we don't want to get the fuck out of it though. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if anybody ever listened to him, but like him speak in general, not rap.
Who?
KRS-One.
Oh, yeah.
KRS-One said it best, man. He said it best.
All right. So, Isaac, what were you going to say? Was it pertaining to this topic?
I just wanted to say, regarding this topic, I just heard a lot of people talk shit about colleges, and I've been hearing people talk shit about colleges for so long. I feel like they've kind of gone from being overrated over time to kind of being underrated, if I'm being honest with you. Like, if you talk about making money at home and stuff, like, that's all on you, like, more power to you. If you're having success doing that, go for it, And if you want to educate other people on stocks and finances, for sure, nobody's going to hold it against you. But I think it's kind of irresponsible to, on the other hand, tell people to, not go to college or stuff like that.
Oh, so this wasn't, we didn't tell you.
Wait, did anybody in particular tell somebody not to go to college?
I feel like that was the sort of vibe I was getting. I'm saying if that is the case, I might be
But did anybody say that?
No,
Did anybody,
no, he's saying that he did jump in, so he probably kind of extrapolated from what he got. We were saying to get your knowledge. That's what we were saying.
Right. Yeah.
However means necessary. If you go to college and if that's where the knowledge is, so be it. If it's a trade school, so be it. If it's the internet, go be it. If it's the library, go be it. Yeah. What we're talking about in this particular case is victimhood. Finding excuses not to work. And yeah, it's going to be more difficult for certain people. Period. Point blank. Not just black people across the board. It depends on where you are. It's going to be a difficulty. Life isn't fair. And stop thinking it's fair. It's not. It's not going to give you a handout. That's just what we were saying.
I agree with all that. I'm just saying, like, I feel like just like all those options you mentioned, college at the end of the day is also an option. Well, like one of those options,
not even
right? So that's all I was saying. I'm not saying nothing more.
Education, bro. Education is important. Everyone knows education is important, but college is not end all be all. Look at the big.
Why? My biggest issue with the college, and it's not that I don't believe in telling somebody like they should do something or shouldn't do something. My issue with college, at least in context to getting information and whatever, educating yourself and all that shit, right? Is that the college system was built, just like everything else, to put everybody into the mindset to go out into the workforce. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that, the Western fucking education system that we have right now has failed us. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of shit that, that we should have been taught that we weren't. Why don't they teach people about, finances? And I'm talking about, like, how do you use
just in school?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, what
regular school?
Yeah.
Regular. So before we got out there, they don't even. There's a lot of basic shit that we should have been taught in elementary and high school. We weren't. I want to say this before we close out here. So, Sony versus, what were you going to say? I saw you raise your hand.
Oh, you good, bro?
Okay, you just raised. Okay. Now, my last question to everybody here. Since we were talking about lost civilizations and where we're going now, and the victimhood and everything else, I do believe that we're heading to another cataclysm. My question is, everybody, is what would it be? How are we going to doom ourselves this time around?
It's gonna be strands, yo.
I mean, unfortunately, we don't have to doom ourselves. Something in the universe will take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Um, I mean, look at what happened with fucking COVID. I think COVID is a great example of some shit that really didn't have to be as bad as it was, but because of the ignorance of people, we could not all get on a single fucking page. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. It's definitely coming, but what it'll be, only God
I
knows.
100% agree with Sick on that one. I think if anything happens, it's probably going to be something natural, you know, and it's going to be our incompetence in dealing with it that's going to fuck us, you know. Like, there's a lot of shit happening. There's fucking glaciers melting. There's fucking people who are going to be refugees soon, you know. You think we're equipped to handle all this shit? We can't even vaccinate our own fucking people. Like, what the fuck? We're not going to do anything.
Yo, no, let me take it a step farther, bruh. Nigga, we are dog. Have y'all been to the grocery store lately?
We're running out of fucking food. That shit crazy,
bruh.
Food prices. Crazy.
No, but okay. So let me put this thought in your mind though. What happens when it gets so dire that there isn't enough food for everybody?
Yeah.
Or at least
this shit gonna turn into the purge.
Or at least
it's gonna turn into
or
the purge,
at least
bro.
I'll say this. Because we have food, but if it's only going to be channeled into one fucking place, I mean, look what fucking happened with toilet paper.
I'll tell you what's going to happen, brothers. I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're going to cut off these motherfuckers' water. What do I mean by that? You're going to take away the internet. You take away the electricity. The world will fall within 2 weeks. It'll be all over. Real talk.
I hate to say it, but you know what, though? I get it. So in terms of the vaccine, and that's what we're talking about. I'm not going to get too deeply into it because that's a whole other thing, and I don't got time for it right now. I don't feel like my brain can't. I won't do it. But what I will say is this: for those same people that was like, "Oh, you need to do yourself a service and get the vaccine so you can help out humanity." How could you be so selfish? You already gotten vaccinated. Why are you so scared? Right?
You know what's weird? You know what's weird as hell though about that, Josh? Now that you say that, dog, I'm a person who had COVID, dog, and I know COVID ain't no fucking joke. But I'm also a person who I'm not sure I want to fucking take that vaccine, bro. It's been almost a year now. It'll be a year in December, I think like 16th or something like that. It'll be a year since I had.
I just got over it.
And
wow.
And the reason why I'm not getting the vaccine is my own personal reasons. But here's where I kind of stray away from the path, right? Like, I'm not gonna tell a motherfucker that they have to get these shots and get this vaccine and shit like that, or make it mandatory for them to get this vaccine, right? I would never fucking do that. But at the same time, you can't be a nigga who don't want to get the vaccine, but also don't want to wear a mask.
Yeah.
So there's, like I said, there's so many layers to this conversation, and these platforms and these platform holders do not want to do that. They don't want you to really talk about this shit. I will say this, 2 things before we close it out, and I swear we're going to close it out. The first thing I'm going to say is that the head of the CDC, as a chick, I believe, she was like, let me just tell everybody that if you take the vaccine, you will not be able to spread it or catch it. And then like 3 months later, well, you are going to be able to catch it, but it's going to lighten the symptoms. I'm just saying she said that with her own mouth. She said that.
Yeah.
So like it makes it hard for people. You like the distrust. You did it. Like the CDC did it. It ain't no conspiracy theorist. Like I'm looking at the stats on your own website and what you're saying. That's why I'm skeptical.
There was a lot of political shit behind what was said about the vaccines and shit like that way before any of that shit, dog. So let's not make it seem like it wasn't something that was.
Oh no! We know it was definitely. And then on top of it, that same vaccine that people were talking about, the Democrats or whatever, it's the same one that fucking Trump would have pushed. It's the same one. And all the motherfuckers, I wouldn't trust it. What's her name? The vice president, I wouldn't trust it. As soon as you got president, please take it.
Yeah.
For the good. But my point was this: all those people that are being white knights, just take it so we can just be done with it. Just think about your neighbors. Think about the children. Right? Where the fuck were you when I couldn't wipe my ass? I couldn't find no fucking I need newspaper, bitch. Where were you then? You didn't took all the fucking toilet paper for fucking months.
Right.
And sanitation wipes.
Yeah.
Where were you at that you didn't give a fuck about me when I couldn't wipe my ass? Now you're talking about something. It's bullshit. That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna say,
but that's a very dangerous attitude to have.
But here's another problem we came with. We got another problem now, though, brothers. The new virus, the new variant that just came out. It don't matter.
The Omarion variant.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The vaccines don't work on it.
I'm so sorry. What did you say? The Omarion?
It comes from South Africa. It comes from South Africa and Hong Kong. And the vaccines don't work on it at all.
Well, they don't know yet. Give it 2 weeks to figure out what is going on. They say give it a couple weeks.
Honestly, this COVID shit might be what takes us out.
I think that's what it is.
It just keeps fucking going into a different fucking variant.
That's what viruses do. I don't know about it being that quick, but that's what viruses do. I'm going to say,
nah, bro. We done went through Delta. This is because the only
people who have a conversation about getting the entire population vaccinated are like these rich Western white countries who have a surplus here. But all these other poor black or browner countries don't got no vaccine surplus. They're out here dying on the streets, you know? Like they don't have like these conversations about whether we can take it or not, or should we take it or not. They're out here talking about, oh shit, where should we burn these fucking bodies? Like
that was India last year.
Dude, dude, that's this summer. We were running out of buildings to put bodies in, my guy. Like children were burning their parents out on the streets. Like
where are you at? Hold on, wait a minute. Where are you at?
Here in India.
I'm from India. Like, and I spend the summer there. Like, this is what the shit you see on the streets, man. Like, so I'm just saying, like, if you have a problem in your country with like a certain population not taking it, just give that shit to people who need it, bro. That's as soon as you're gonna shut this variation shit down. It's because in the world there's certain people who don't have it and people who have a surplus. Like that shit's fucked, you know? If you're not gonna take it, give it to people who need it, give it to the motherfuckers dying around the world so that this shit stops mutating.
My niece who works in the medical field, including Doc, who I talked to on this, they're already telling me already the superbug is already done permeated and stuff out there. We're screwed. Because the problem is, it's not that those places just can't take it. It's constantly changing. I've never seen a virus mutate this fast. This is not no naturally occurring virus.
No, and the argument that they had was this. It's called gain of function. And he actually goes on record. What's his name? Anthony Fauci, and says that this is before the pandemic, a couple of years before, that he was deliberately giving viruses more functionality, like more function. And then all of a sudden, a couple of years later, man, we got this fucking bitch. You know, so it's like, and then he's like, well, you know, I didn't fund anything. Now the fucking Chinese and other people are saying, well, we got the money from America, so I didn't do anything. And it's like, it's so many layers to this shit. And on top of it, social media, like for instance, I'll say this, and we're done. But that misinformation from that CDC, I know, right? It's so for that CDC person, I'm not trying to be that nigga with these crazy ass spaces for 17 hours. I'm trying to keep it.
Yo, another fucking 2 hours, bro.
I said 2 hours, yo. We were the third fucking hour, yo. I'm trying to be in and out, yo. I was like, I'm just gonna do this real quick and step out. Nah, nigga, y'all grabbed me. So. But I'm trying, you know what I mean? I'm trying to play PlayStation and shit. But
you kept talking about more deeper shit. The deeper your conversation with, the more motherfuckers came there.
I was like, fuck.
What do you want to play on that PS5?
But I was going to say, what do you say?
The one thing I will have to say about this whole thing, and then I'll shut up about it, is that I live in Florida. I've never gotten it. I don't know anybody who has it. We wear masks, but not everybody wears masks. Like I'll wear a mask at the job, or if I'm going to school, like I was going to school for business administration or medical, only wore a mask there, right? Never got it. Here's my thing. If this is so important, and I don't know, my thing is, why are you pushing it so hard? Where was the push when the flu was killing billions of people a year? Right now, you have the flu shot. Right, you go down to your local Walmart, or not Walmart, but Walgreens or CVS, and get the flu shot. But the difference is you have a choice. Right, you have the option. With this, you don't have the option. I'm thinking that it's, man, I'm not trying to be that guy and say it's fake, because obviously there has been people who got it and who's died from it. But my thing is, I'm thinking it's being more used as a political tool and not something as serious, because let's not forget, Dr. Fauci was caught with his emails stating that it was not as dangerous as he was portraying it on the media.
Yeah,
right, and everyone forgot. Yeah, everyone forgot about that. Everybody forgot about that. They
swept that shit. Like they came up with something else. They and look, I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this. You're right. They pushing it. I just don't know why. Because at first they was like,
I can tell you why. I can tell you why they're pushing it. You're fucking with rich people's money. You
wait, hold on, pause. You know, I get it, and I think we all get it. You know what I'm saying? But we want to really have it. The thing is, first it was like this: we just need to get 70 people. First, no, I'm sorry, it was like 2 weeks to slow down the spreads, just to have the nurses catch their breath. Then it was like, oh, it's getting so bad. You know what? We got to shut this shit down for 6 months. Then it was like actually a year, and then the vaccines came out. Right? They popped out. And they were like, we just need to get 70% of the people to be vaccinated and we could crush this COVID, right? The fucking people were like, I don't really know about that. They was like, okay, we'll give you, we'll put it in a grand, a grand jury or whatever the fuck it is. And you can get $500,000 to get the vaccine. People still wasn't fucking with it. They was like, fuck. Well, let me just put it in Walgreens. People still wasn't getting it. Fuck. Well, you're going to have to do it or else. You know what I'm saying? Or you lose your job. And people are still like saying, fuck it. In New York, motherfuckers just not going up there. You're like, no, turn that shit off. Now they're going to be like the next step. I guarantee you, yo. They were like, yo, we'll suck your dick if you get it. Please take this shit, man. These fucking handlers. I'm just trying to please. Hold on, these haters, they want their money.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because that's what it is, brother. It's that when that shutdown happened, now, the super ooper duper rich, it wasn't affecting them, but just the regular super rich people, that's fucking with their money. And if you pay attention, well, if you look at the political side, Republicans who are more business savvy, to say the least, were against the vaccines, but now they're for it. Because they rich handlers like, look, fuck nigga, we need to get these motherfuckers back to work, tell these motherfuckers take this shot so we can open shit back up. Brothers from Florida, I know you.
You know the beauty of all of it,
yeah,
though?
Go ahead, brother.
The beauty of all of it is niggas learned that they didn't need these jobs.
Exactly.
Oh, they didn't like that. They didn't like that at all. Motherfuckers didn't even need the buildings anymore. They working from home. There are certain people that got billions of fucking dollars. Keep it. Look at Pfizer and Moderna and all the motherfuckers and their stocks going through the fucking roof.
Exactly.
Look at their shit. This shit is all about money. Now, in terms of the virus taking us out, I thought about that for a second or two. It makes me nervous. You know what I'm saying?
It's not going to take us out. It's not going to take us out. It's going to, I think what it's going to do, brother, and this is my point of view, right? As bad as it was in India this year and last year, it didn't end India. It just crippled it, right? But imagine if supply chains, which are strained right now, everything is crippled, right? The first thing will fall will be the internet. Half your kids are going to go nuts. I mean, have you seen any kids in the house without internet lately? So that's going to be nuts. Then you cripple that, then there comes sanitation, the garbage truck drivers are not working.
My brother, listen, I sorry to cut you off there. I just want to say a few things. You said it didn't cripple us or whatever.
I said it did cripple India. I said crippled India.
I'm just saying, listen. I think you talk about like these basic things like sanitation or stuff like that. Half our people don't got that shit, my guy. We're laborers.
Wow, my bad.
So it's like So it's like we're not on that same level. Like I think when it's such an Americanized conversation to even be talking about like, oh, like we have to worry about this shit or that shit. Like, bro, some people don't have the option to be having that conversation, man. Like some people, they get out, they have to go to work, they have to feed their kids, and that's their life. Like that's literally all there is, right?
And here we are in America, right? We caring about 2 frames more.
That's called.
Where's my SSD? First of all, this SSD ain't really hitting right. I'm gonna need one that's 600 gigabytes.
I mean, if it ain't native 4K, I ain't fucking with it. 60 frames. Shut the fuck up, nigga.
I want my shit 240 frames a second, or else I'm burning your shit down. Don't
what
fuck
they call
with me.
it? They call it first world problems. First
world problem, like a motherfucker, yo. So I didn't mean any disrespect, Isaac. I really didn't. It's good.
That's why I was saying that maybe in other parts of the world won't be so bad if they lose all their shit like the internet and shit. They don't have to deal with it anyway.
Finally, get rid of these Instagram thoughts. I'm tired of the motherfuckers.
Yo, but I'm telling you right now, the internet was out for a week in my house. Here. We got a bunch of kids.
You think these white boys could
That's
go
the
like
real
one
zombie
day
apocalypse
without the
right
internet,
there.
bro?
Yeah. The internet was out for a week in my house. My little sister and these kids that live with us,
These
they
kids
were
gotta
losing.
play
They
4
were.
hours of Fortnite every day, bro.
They're gonna lose their mind.
Yo, I remember, so at my job and whatever the case is, I have to deal with cable and shit like that. And I was trying to fix this person's billing because their cable was off. So I'm like, yeah. He was like, Mom, when that cable gonna turn on? And she was like, I'm on the phone. Listen, bitch, I'm gonna stab you in your fucking throat and you don't turn this shit on so I can play some Fortnite. I was like, oh shit. Hold the fuck up.
I hope she was like,
I'm sorry. She was like, I am so sorry. I walked out the front door and now he locked me out the house.
Bro, that's what the problem is, man. That's what the fucking problem is, man.
Bro, I was like,
nah. The problem is she should have whooped his ass.
I'm joking, but he really was cussing her out and locked her out of her house.
Bro, if I were to ever say something like that to my mother, bro, some blood vessel in my cheek is bursting because of the slaps, man.
I think it's a people of color issue with your parents beating the fuck out of you for cursing them out. I think
it's the
bro,
brown.
I can't even think about.
I'm trying to tell you, it's the brown. If you got some melanin, If you got some melanin in you, it don't fly. My grandma used to say some wild shit. She was like, "Nigga, I'll stomp you flat. You open your mouth again." I said, "Damn."
Well, they told me when I was younger, they beat the black off your ass. That's what they used to say to us.
Yeah. And also, too, she got into an argument with her husband, right? My grandma. And he pushed her. She looked at him. She said, "You know what, nigga? You better sleep with one eye open. Because the second you close the other one, I'm going to cut your head off raggedy." I said, my man collected his suitcase. He said, "No, I'm out." He said, "Cut my head off raggedy." Wait a minute.
Let me tell you something, man. And this is the reason why I laugh, dog. My auntie was not to be fucked with. Not at all, bro. She was telling us a story about how she got shot in the leg by some dude with a BB gun. They say she beat his motherfucking ass, took the BB gun, dog, and beat him with the goddamn BB gun. Her and my uncle used to get into it, man. My uncle would get drunk and start going crazy, man. One day, he said, I fucking kill you. You know, niggas always talk about they gonna kill you. I'll kill you. Nope. Man, she beat the fuck out of him in there, man. Hey, listen, man.
Look, my grandma, he had the great look. My grandfather had to grab my grandma, but like over her back. This bitch was giving them rib shots. She was boop, boop, boop. I said, "Damn, I call the cops on." She was fucking this shit up, yo. I'm trying to tell you, these black older women from that other generation, they don't fuck with them.
Nah.
Don't do it. I thought I was cool, right? I was like 17 years old. I had a little bit of muscles, you know what I mean? I did my little push-ups and I was about to get out the house. She said something. I was like, "I can't wait to get the fuck out this house, man." She said, "What you say?" I turned around like I was going to do something as I walked up the stairs. I was like, "I can't wait to get the fuck out this house." She grabbed me with my button up. The fucking buttons were popping up. Pop, 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 pop. She fucking tackled me, CQC, Middle Gear Solid, and busted me in my fucking chest, yo. She literally CQC'd my ass and hit me in my fucking throat, yo. Say that shit again, yo. I was like, you right.
That sounds about right.
I thought you were old. I didn't know you could do all that. You got CQC shit? Close quarter combat. I was, oh shit.
Yo, you know, that's because them old black women from back in the day, them some tough old bras, bro. I don't know. They went through a lot of shit.
Yo, these black women, yo, they were OP. Yo, my mom had 3 jobs, was going to college, all with a fucking baby on her hip.
Yeah,
like, yo, she when she needed to get something done, she got it done. There was no fucking excuses with that generation. Period. None.
That's
right. She did what she had to do. Whatever she had to do. She didn't say.
Go back to that.
Can we go back? She didn't say nothing. Like, she wasn't even talking about like, oh my gosh, they mad at me because I got weave, or they got mad at me. She did what she had to do. Period. Point blank. Didn't say shit. Even to this day, she didn't say shit. And I was complaining. I was like, Mom, I can't stand this bank.
Yo,
she was like,
what? I remember. I remember one time, yo, I challenged my mom, man, when I was younger, and she was like, oh, you think you can fight, right? And I'm like, yeah. I blinked and I was on the ground, yo. She had my arms twisted up.
I'm trying to tell you, these chicks are fucking supernatural. But I was telling her, I was like, Mom, I was like, I'm working at this bank, and they told me I had to cut my hair. She was like, oh, okay. I said, did you hear what I said? They said they had to cut my hair. That's racist. She was like, Josh, I need you to understand something. It is a business. And the people that they serve may be racist. And they may not want to see your black face. So it's not anything personal. Don't take it personal.
You know, and what's sick, and I heard Persona say this too, right? We as black people, stop making excuses, man. You know you got the foot up your ass. You don't go deal with this bullshit. My parents dealt with it. Their parents dealt with it. But racism and shit like that can't stop you from moving forward.
It shouldn't stop you from moving forward. It shouldn't. The people dwelling on how hard it is. Oh, so why? Yeah. So what it is?
It's about building. Listen, it's about building generational wealth, bro. The same way these people build generational wealth for their families and shit. They seem like they got it easy because guess what? Man, they got money being handed down.
Yo, you know what's crazy?
But that's what we have to do. We listen. We are behind the times. We gotta
get all the way behind the times.
We gotta build that generation.
And I give it credit. I give it credit to the younger generation of young black men and women. They think more like Sick do. They think more like I do. They don't think like, I gotta say it, be honest. They don't think like these 1970 niggas. Because I'm being honest, a lot of them, they are that Cardi B generation. All they can see is what's in front of them right now. They don't think about the future. And that's a problem. They only think about themselves. That's the problem.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, we have a lot of fucking influence as black people. And I'm not shunning any other race. I'm just telling you the fucking facts.
That's true.
There's a rich neighborhood near me. And because of the music that we have, they getting bazillion butt lifts, the fucking eyelashes, the nails, the weaves.
Brother.
They doing all that shit.
You have a whole country over in Korea. All they do is black music. They call it K-pop.
Yep. They are losing their generational wealth to be black like the tan. To burn their hair so it can look kinky, the kinky look.
You know what, man?
Yeah. We got all this power and don't even use this shit. Yeah, but we're busy eating each other.
I think I think some of that shit is changing though. You know what I mean? Like, especially now that, all this shit happened with COVID and, a lot of people were making fucking more money than they were when they were working at their jobs. You know what I'm saying? I think more people are starting to realize that there's actually more shit out there, you know what I'm saying, than going to your job every day, 9 to 5 and all. Like, there's just a lot of opportunities. And I think a lot of people are actually starting to realize that, this shit's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck I've been doing, this shit's all fucked up. I don't want to do it anymore.
Listen, I'm going to say this. Thank all of you guys. I have to really kind of retweet it and let you guys know how much I thank you guys for joining. Sick, King Thrash, Ken, Dante, Taryn, all of you motherfuckers, y'all really thinks a lot. I didn't know that this was going to be really good, but I want to say this. This is why, and just the last little piece, this is why these variants keep popping up, because they don't know how to handle people trying to do their own thing. That's what I believe personally. That's my tinfoil hat. Marion virus is coming. They're like, yo, that shit gonna make you dance and sing Icebox. You better. It was like, yo, that shit crazy. You better do something about that shit. That's how I figured.
You know what I think? I think the COVID virus, again, I always thought it was man-made, and I still think it's man-made. I think it was deliberately made for some form of population control. But I don't think that they really thought this shit through.
It don't look like it.
I don't think that it took the path.
It don't look like it. Looked like they haphazardly. They thought something was going to happen, and it didn't go their way. And they're like, "Oh fuck!" What I think it is, really, truthfully, I think it is a paradigm shift. I think it was created to change the paradigm of how this world works.
Well,
that's what I think.
Also, I think the people didn't realize how dumb certain people were going to be, because some people are really motherfucking dumb. You know,
they don't look at nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at a society where these motherfuckers will let everything slide, but I don't want to wear a mask. Everything else.
Yo, niggas is out here eating ass.
Exactly.
Dog. They eating ass, bro. They are literally eating ass. They are licking the hole where shit comes out.
But
I don't want to wear a mask. And I'm gonna tell you something. When I was in Texas, right? I'm gonna tell you this: Texas and the other places that I visited, right? That had these like requirements for the mask. Y'all don't think it's weird that when you come in there, they were like, okay, how may I help you? Oh, but before you tell us, I need you to wear a mask. So you put the mask on. Okay, so how can I serve you today? We have a table of 4. Oh, right this way. Now you can take off your mask when you eat, but after you're done eating, put it back on. Like you're breathing, you're talking, and you're in a closed area where that shit is just going to float like a gas bubble. And it's like COVID doesn't fucking exist in an airplane. Wear your mask, but when you want to eat peanuts and drink the liquor that's on this fucking plane, you can take it off and breathe all up in your neighbor's shit. Like, I don't like it seems so fugazi. The requirements is so fucking crazy to me when I look at it. I'm like, the fuck is happening? I'm not saying that it works or don't work. It's just really contradictory, and nobody's thinking.
I think, I'm going to be honest with you. Some places, I actually think they see that mask as a comfort to them to think they're not going to catch COVID. I have relatives who have been fully vaccinated just like me and still have caught COVID. So it's not 100%.
Because they eating ass. That's what it is. That's all it boils down to. They're like, look. They're like, wait, before you go down, did you get the vac? Are you double vaxxed? Yeah, let me see your vaccination card. Okay, cool. I'm gonna fart in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that, and that's what the shit is spreading the way that it is. I'm trying to tell you is that fart. It's just what it is. Nigga's stupid. It's that fart, man. I'm trying. That's where the Marion virus came from. It's the fart.
Yeah, when that's some bitch hit, boy, they're gonna be dancing and dying all at the same time. Bro.
They'll be in the fucking doctor. What's your symptoms? I don't know, man. It's this ice box where my heart used to be and shit. You're just gonna start moving.
I'm gonna say it like this, man. Look, I'm all for motherfuckers being pro-choice of what the fuck you want to, with what you want to do, bruh. But if you go into a place and the motherfuckers tell you ass to put on a mask, bruh, if you're not gonna get the vaccine, at least play
the part. Regardless of what it is, put on the fucking mask. It could be corny. All right, fine. Let me just put on the fucking mask. And maybe it's for mental or psychological things, but Anthony Fauci did say that before a pandemic. He was like, listen, all you have to do is just work out. It doesn't really do anything. And then all of a sudden the pandemic happened. Please, guys, wear your mask.
Man, I went to Best Buy for Black Friday. They told me to show my vaccine card before they even let us in the store.
Where is this at?
Wait, what?
They made us show our vaccine card. When I went to go get this bullshit-ass TV around Black Friday, I went on Wednesday, but it's still a Black Friday for Best Buy. We were showing our cards before we went into the store. Straight up.
Wait, you didn't have a mask?
I had a mask on, but they still want you to show that card. Some places they don't let your ass in at all.
Wait, what?
I'm serious. Here in Illinois, if some places they don't have to, they don't got to let you in places unless you show your card.
I do my shopping online anyway, but I ain't trying. Let me tell you, I ain't trying to be around niggas, bro. For a year, I have been sick free, my nigga. I have been good.
Only reason
I don't want to go around you, motherfuckers.
It's okay though. They're gonna fuck up, and they're gonna need them people in that brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
I think they need to get rid of all these brick and mortar stores and make these fucking stores into factories.
Yo, sick got the fucking Uber Eats and DoorDash on speed dial, yo.
Who me? Mm-hmm. Nah, I don't eat takeout, bro.
But check it out. Though. The reason I went to the store though sick was because it was gonna be till like Tuesday next week till I got the TV, and I'm like, I didn't want to wait. So me and my brother, we slid up to Best Buy. I had my mask on. The old girl asked me, "You got a vaccine card?" Like, what the fuck? They're like, we got passports, not going into the store. I showed it to her. I had it in my wallet. But she told me some places they ask you for that shit. Real talk.
I'm gonna say this. When it comes to this, everybody's like, I don't understand. You got vaccinated when you were younger. How come you don't like this one? A, I had no control over it. B, this chickenpox, or not chickenpox, this fucking polio, whatever the fuck they didn't stop me from going in the fucking store. Measles and shit. They didn't ask me to do that shit before this pandemic. It's different. I'm tired of people making a blanketed statement about this raggedy ass shit that don't look like it's working. That's all I'm saying. Either it's not working. They're like, yo, it's breakthrough cases and shit like that. Somebody got double vax and a booster, and a month later, she still got it.
That's my cousin. She got it too. My cousin, who
and she's baffled. She like, I don't even know what happened. I stayed indoors with my 3 masks in my house, and I just watched CNN all day. How the fuck I get it? Is it coming through the TV? Is it 5G for real? For real? That's what she was saying.
And my niece, my niece who works in the medical industry, she said, listen, she told me about the Delta before they even talked about it on TV. There's already another variant out there, right? And about 2 weeks ago, she said, there's another one out there. She said, it don't even matter about the vaccine. She told me that. Like, what you mean don't matter about the vaccine? She said, Uncle, it don't even matter. Senator Link want to say something. He got his hand up.
Oh, you're going.
Oh yeah, just here in Australia. I'm in New South Wales. I'm unvaccinated, and there's only 3 places I can go because you need to be vaccinated, and you need to show your card to go everywhere. I can only go to supermarkets, doctors, and the post office. They're the only 3 essentials. I'll get petrol, obviously. So yeah, 4 places I can only go.
Yeah, it's bad out there in Australia.
People want to go. Yo, people are snapping over there in Australia. They're gonna keep fucking around. They're gonna be throwing them fucking camel spiders in the hospital and shit. They're gonna go crazy. You better leave them motherfucking Australians.
Come to Florida, bro. We ain't got to worry about that shit at all.
Y'all got a crazy ass governor. Y'all got a crazy ass governor down there.
DeSantis, let's go.
Yo, I'm sorry. Listen.
Oh hell no! You co-sign that?
That motherfucker's a nutcase.
Out of here,
that motherfucker's a straight nutcase.
Let me tell you something about DeSantis, because I live in Florida as well. I live at the bottom. I'm in Broward County, nigga. Listen, DeSantis monkey ass bro. He told motherfuckers not to get that vaccine, and he was one of the first to get the fucking vaccine.
Nigga. He's a fuck nigga.
Yeah, and he got all his homies and his family.
Vaccinated.
He made sure they got priority to get vaccine, my nigga. But he got on the news and told all y'all stupid motherfuckers, oh man, no, you shouldn't get the vaccine. It should be your choice. Oh, we're not gonna do any jabs. Man, this nigga's doing all of this shit for political gain.
That's all they're doing it for.
That's like all those.
Hold on.
Wait, 1 second.
He went and got it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so isn't that his choice though? Because he said everybody can do it by choice, so it's not his choice.
But wait a minute, and then the same fuck nigga.
No, he's running campaigns telling people that they shouldn't be getting the jab.
No, I know, right? But we have a choice. We have an option. Like if people get it, they get it, right? If they don't, they don't. So he got it, but that's his choice. I know people that got it too. Like personally, like I can call them up right now and tell them I got that shit, and my kid got it. I'm like, all right, bro. Well, just be careful. You know what I mean?
And
So
then
like,
you know what, brother? On the political level, it's a set.
Well, listen. All of that choice shit go two ways,
Yeah,
man. Because you might be comfortable not doing this and that, but you got to think about the other person the same way you want the other person to think about you when when it comes time for you to have that vaccine,
exactly.
bruh. That's the fucked up part about all of this shit. Y'all niggas don't care if y'all out here spreading that shit and giving it to other people. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to walk around and go wherever the fuck you want. You want to go in the barbershop, in the goddamn amusement park, and you don't want to have to be accountable for any of the bullshit.
oh no, like
That's the only problem I
hold
got.
on, like
My thing is, I'm staying away from every fucking
well,
body.
no.
And
Here's
I ain't gonna lie, I'm
here's
with
the
you. I ain't
thing.
trying to get that.
Here's the thing. When
Hold
I
on,
when I
wait,
like,
Dante, wait. What were you saying, Taryn? You were trying to.
No, I was gonna say though, like the same fuck niggas on Fox News. Don't go get the vaccine. Every last one of them son of a bitches been vaccinated, especially that bitch ass Tucker Carlson. It is a hoax. This motherfucker got his whole family vaccinated as soon as they came online. And that's what I be like, yo, this brother's telling you not to go get the shot, but he don't got the shot. You can't even go inside the Fox News building without being vaccinated. That
Just
tells you
saying.
how. No, you can't. You can't. You can't go inside their building without being vaccinated. And they telling people up front. Who's that dude? Neil Cavuto, who worked for Fox News, said he was up there telling people, listen, I had COVID. I'm trying to tell you. Then the same night, Laura Ingraham and all the rest of them fuck niggas on Fox News don't listen to Neil Cavuto. But they was just kissing his ass 6 months ago before he got sick. But they don't got the shot, brother. Believe me. That's ain't nothing but politics behind it.
well, like
It is.
like I said, like when I go into the store and shit, like all the videos I've seen of like people freaking out over a fucking mask, like, oh, I have a right, I have freedoms, I have this bullshit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm only gonna be in the store for like what, maybe 10, 20 minutes tops, right? Go in there, get my shit, get the fuck out, right? I've never had it personally since this whole thing started, and I've been keeping track of it.
You probably did.
At the same time, like, right? Oh, I don't get sick like that. Like, I don't drink, I don't party, I don't do none of that shit. I smoke cigarettes, but that's about it. I drink black coffee. I don't eat fast food. I don't like, but I'm healthy. Do you know what I mean? I live a healthy lifestyle. So, and I'm not saying
not with the cancer stick.
I'm not saying that people that are healthy can't get it, right, or can't get sick, right? But I take multivitamins. I take everything I can think of. I take it. I drink my smoothies. I do all that shit, right? But the thing is like, I just think it's. Does anybody remember? Like, was it 16 or was it 1700s?
Yeah,
I forget which
Spanish flu.
Yeah, where they purposely gave that shit to people.
Oh no, you talking about? Yeah, it was that, and it was chickenpox too. When I was younger, we had chickenpox parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we was the only one who did that nasty shit, dog. Because they was like, we want all the kids to get it while they're young, because if you get it while you're an adult, that shit could be deadly.
You get shingles.
Well, no, the actual chickenpox. If you already have it, then it look like it malforms the shingles. But like, no, we had chickenpox parties where we were all like, I had my siblings, and we were all just sitting there and just be like, fuck it, we just all gonna be fucking polka dotted. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we.
Yo, I remember when I got the chicken pox, nigga. I ain't gonna lie, that shit was not fun.
I never had the chicken pox or the meat.
It didn't really affect me. It didn't affect me crazy though. It didn't affect me crazy. So like, I mean, I had it, but it was like very mild for me at least. But you know,
nigga, I remember walking in the bathroom, looking in the mirror, seeing all them fucking bumps on me, dog. Oh my god, that shit was.
My sister got it bad, yo. They had to wrap her hands up because she was trying to pop them bitches.
Am I gonna have to Google people with chicken pox? Because I ain't never had that shit. I don't know.
That shit don't exist. We just
you know what's crazy? None of my kids got chicken pox.
That's right.
Thus far.
Is there a vaccine for chicken pox?
I don't know.
None of my siblings and none of my siblings.
I got that shit.
I think it is a part of
I got that shit when I was. I'll never forget it. I was in the 6th grade when I got that shit. In the 6th grade, bro. I haven't even seen a kid with chicken pox.
That's what I'm saying. My siblings and all my siblings' kids, none of them have chicken pox. Never had it from childhood to adulthood. That's why I'm like, you still get that shit?
That's crazy. But anyway,
that motherfucker just kind of went away.
But I'm
Yo, yeah, this nigga been about to go for the last.
Yo, man, we sorry, brother. We sorry, brother. We sorry, brother. We sorry,
Yo, I'm
brother.
about to shut this shit down in here another fucking hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Hey, this was a good one,
Yeah.
though, dog. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
Yo.
This shit
I
was
told
good.
you, listen, bro. Hey, yo, music. Let me tell you what you did, right? We was talking about video games and shit. We had like 5 motherfuckers up here. We got into some serious shit, lost civilizations and
Everybody
shit.
jumped
Look
up.
all this. Look at all these motherfuckers coming here. Like,
That
they want to hear
motherfucker
that
popped
shit.
up like chicken pox. Them motherfuckers- I was like, oh shit.
Yo, we got
I thought that was gonna be. I was like, yo, I expect a couple of people to be here, and then I'm just gonna be out making it short.
Because you were like,
This
yo,
was the
man, you
longest
gotta-
shit I ever done. This whole
Yo,
time
brother,
I've been
you
doing.
know what it is, brother? I did a Spaces, right? I was talking about games, right? I think I had 5 motherfuckers for about 45 minutes. Me and Doc switched over, went talking about politics. Well, political, well, not just Democrat, but politics in general, right? Man, we had about 200 people in that motherfucker at one time. I didn't think that many people cared about that shit. And motherfuckers come in now. Or you could do the other thing like the porno girls be doing, like the dick sucking parties. You get like 5,000 motherfuckers. Real talk.
Yo, you know what makes me sick, yo? I mean, you do what you do. I ain't even mad at you. But there's a lot of motherfuckers got caught in 4K, yo.
I know,
They
right?
got caught in the 16:9 ratio, yo. All up in these spaces. I'm like,
Yo,
we can't
man.
even see. I'm like, I did go in there, but I'm like, you can't even see what's going on.
Let me tell you
don't
what's
even know what
funny.
it is.
Let me tell you so funny, right? There was
ASMR
one
fun.
space. There was a space where this girl was moaning for about. She was moaning for about 5 hours in that space. It was so many motherfuckers in there. It wouldn't even let you get in there. The
You know
screen
what?
would pop
You
up.
want to know what's crazy? You had the one motherfucking bitch moaning, and all these listeners is quiet as shit.
Liz, I'm like, what are they doing?
No, honestly,
Yo, sick.
Nigga, they was in there making snow globes.
Yo, sick, Joe. Let me tell you, right? So I was like, I think that's the day I met Janie the Wolf, right? And she was telling me like, oh, they had they was having a dick sizing thing in space. I'm like, how the fuck can you have a dick sizing thing in space? Can't nobody see each other. Why would you want to be around another dude anyway? Talking about this shit, right? And I thought she was joking. She said, go ahead. She said, go ahead and turn and look at the numbers. It was so many people, and nothing in that but men. It was a lot of people in that motherfucking space. It was crazy, bro. Tell you, it's a lot of motherfuckers got caught out here, bro.
Extra 16:9 ratio, yo, fucking all in that sauce, man. Motherfuckers backstroking and all sorts of shit. I was like,
And they just listen to this girl moaning.
And then the funny thing is, they're gonna try to go into a regular space after it closes. Hey guys, hey guys, you guys going to pick up the next Halo?
Hey Josh, yo, low key though, man, that's just kind of hard. It's kind of interesting to jump in to see what the fuck they be doing sometimes, though.
That should be funny, yo. I mean, nosy like a motherfucker. Like, who's in here, yo?
Yeah, I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on in here? Let me just see. Let me jump in for a quick second.
I'm gonna tell you who be in there, bro. Everybody talking about Game Pass. Every motherfucker talk about Game Pass all day long. There ain't no spaces, bro.
That's how you get it popping, yo. I'm like, aren't y'all niggas tired of Game Pass talk? That shit, oh, gosh, man, that shit funny though. But yeah, I'm gonna end it. Thank you guys. I'll have a little highlight video later on my YouTube. My YouTube is on there too. And if you want to go back on it and just listen to it or whatever the case is.